And we're live. Hello,
Hello.
Freddy.
Hello, Fernando.
Welcome to the Fernando and Freddy Show.
Why isn't my
Today
name
is
first?
Friday, March 27th. It is 1:02 p.m. We are 2 minutes late, but better late than never.
We're late.
We're late. Oops.
Oh, because someone had to get his lights ready.
Yeah, my light, we needed to turn a background light on. We were having some discussion about why the lighting was so poor. So we corrected that.
Well, Fernando is our visual, so we need Fernando to be lit up perfectly.
Welcome, Freddy. It's been a long time.
Welcome,
we didn't see you yesterday.
No, we didn't. I was in a bind.
So tell me, what happened?
Okay. Short version is my neighbor was welding a fence. And I wasn't next to him or anything, but I was like looking over in his direction, but not at him. Because, you're never supposed to look at someone welding, like the flame or anything. And so, but for some reason, I thought it's okay if I was looking over towards his direction at something else. And then it hit me, but I didn't know he was welding. So then I realized it. And I was like, oh, no, I got to look away. Like, you know what I mean? But it had been in my peripheral vision for about like 10, 15 seconds. So I go back in the house and I was in the middle of texting someone. I look at my phone and it's like I see like a squiggly line in the middle of my vision. But like imagine like a tear, and the tear has a whole bunch of white light coming out of it. So it was like that. And so I'm just thinking to myself, something's not right. And then so I text my doctor really quickly. I'm like, I don't know what happened. I said, I think it's that welding thing. I'm not sure. And I can't read after that. Like after I get his response, because he responded immediately, he says, close your eyes and stay in the dark. So then I do that, and but it hurts. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so bad.
It still hurts now?
Yeah, it still hurts now. Like this morning, it was hurting. So wait, yesterday, I close my eyes. I sit in the dark for about 4 hours, fall asleep, wake up, and I feel a bit better in one eye because I couldn't read. I couldn't see. I mean, it literally all went blurry. It was like looking, when you're underwater and you open your eyes. That's how everything looked.
Both eyes?
Both eyes. And then after the 4 hours, the left eye was okay. I could see, there was still like a little, like wherever the torch light was, there's like a dot that followed everywhere you moved, So so after the 4 hours, my eye was still hurting, but I thought, okay, maybe it's just the migraine. This morning I wake up and it's even worse. It was so worse. I went to the hospital. I went to the ER.
Which eye is it?
The right eye.
Wait, so this eye. Wait, so
this eye. This eye.
Okay.
Yeah. And so shout out to the French hospitals because they really do take care of you. Like that, they have no fault there. I don't know why anyone ever complains about the medical systems here. I think they're excellent, especially for the price as well. They literally called, because when I spoke to my doctor, he said, you need to see an optometrist. And so I was like, oh, but all the optometrists are closed, because normally you go to like a lens crafter or something like this. And they're all closed. So call the hospital. And the hospital's like, yeah, come in. And I guess I don't know if they call an optometrist to come or they just already had one there, but he had literally like the whole setup, the little thing you put your chin on. And so he was like, okay. Like immediately when I got down, because it was so bad, like I was like, ow. You know what I mean? Like, the pain was like, if I moved, I mean, with the car right over there, the bouncing, everything was just painful, like really, really painful. I closed my eyes, had sunglasses on. I put a beanie on and put it over the sunglasses to close out because even my eyes closed, the light was hurting my eyes.
Yeah. So, but how are you feeling right now? How is your eye feeling?
Well, he put these what are those pain-killing drops? Thanks, Paul.
Okay.
Thank you for watching.
Numbing drops.
Yeah. And yeah, so he put the numbing drops in my eye, and after that, he'd had to do it like 3 times, and then it was okay. But then it still was hurting because the migraine was there. And he's like, well, that's a separate thing. But he said that comment because I was so nauseous as well. Like I was nauseous, like you couldn't believe. And I kept thinking to myself, like, oh, if they give me medicine, I'm going to throw this up. Yeah, but so, and then when I came back home, I went back in the dark another 5 hours later. And now I can open my eyes again, and I can see, but it's still really blurry. Like I can see up close.
But it's just that one eye. It's not both eyes.
No, it's both eyes, but this one is much worse.
Dang.
The one that hurts the most, yeah. But it's weird because I didn't look at it. It was just in my peripheral vision. Like imagine like if you're just looking at me and you see this light over my shoulder, it was exactly like that. Like you weren't looking at there and you didn't realize that, oh wait, he's welding. And then you realize it, you close your eyes, you go, and it's too late.
That's intense though, but I mean, at least you're expected to recover, right?
Yeah. He said no damage. He said it'll just be painful. It won't go away overnight. It could be up to a week or more, depending on, how long it takes to heal. But I got some drops now, so I put those drops in 10 times a day. Yeah.
Every other
and
hour?
Another one at night. Yeah,
so,
pretty much. Well, no, every 4. Go.
Oh, well, I was going to ask you, how is your quarantine going?
Well, it was going good, but that whole part freaked me out because then I almost didn't want to go to the hospital because I was like, what if I go and then I get coronavirus? Because I'm going to the hospital.
Were there a lot of people there in the hospital, or like how was that when you went? Like what was the experience in going to the emergency room?
My eyes were completely closed. I literally the entire time. I was holding my friend's arm and I said, I'm just gonna walk like a blind person next to you. I'm gonna close my eyes because it just hurt that much to move my head, to open my eyes, the light. It was just easier for me just to say, I'm going to follow you. Just don't walk too fast and don't make me bump into things.
So you weren't even able to see what people were there, how many people were there, what they were doing, what precautions they were taking. I mean, did your friend tell you after?
Well, yeah, I did. I did ask. I was like, are people wearing masks? Are there sick people everywhere? But I could hear the nurses, laughing and carrying on. So I was just like, well, it must not be that bad if they're enjoying their time. But I can say when I asked if there was anyone else in the waiting room, they said no. But it was interesting because I felt she said we're like to go to this area. So I guess what they did is in the waiting room they put an X on every other chair, and then they gave you a number of the chair you were supposed to sit in, and you weren't allowed to sit next to other people. I was worried someone's going to be like, "You guys aren't social distancing," because I was holding my friend's arm as we're walking in. So I just figured. What are they going to do?
Yell at you?
Yeah, like yell at me like, hey, and it's like, he can't see. Like, what are you supposed to do? Because the lady did. And then in the admission, the lady was like, you both can't walk over here. And you have to go put the gel on your hands. There was like a little Perel station. And there was like a little light scanning and you had to,
Yeah. Hand sanitizer.
Yeah. Yeah, hand sanitizer.
I see.
And how was quarantine for you?
It's okay. It's really boring. We started watching a new Netflix show last night, and we're almost done with it. But there was only 7 episodes. I think we watched 4 or 5 last night. Alone. We watched movies yesterday.
Oh.
It's just
wait. I was watching Alone. Is it the latest one where there are groups of 3?
What?
You said you were watching the show Alone.
No, we watched
Oh,
a Netflix show. It was Tiger King. I Am the Tiger King. Tiger King.
oh, I wanted to see that.
Um, it's good. I think they could have made it a little shorter. It's really long. It has like 7 episodes. They probably could have made it into 5, but at the same time, they're an hour each. So why not just watch?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's interesting. They have some cute little baby, like big cats, like they're what you call that, like a kitten, a cub, a baby
A cub.
tigers and stuff, and yeah, they were cute. I wanted to pet them, but
They're so bad. No. You know what? I remember years ago when I was a kid, I went to the fair and they had all the white tigers. And apparently I didn't know because they tell you they're rare and they are rare, but how they get them is by inbreeding them.
oh,
Because it's a
okay.
recessive trait. So they inbreed them. So apparently a lot of them have Down syndrome and carry TB. I
T
did
what?
not know that.
They carry
TB,
TB,
tuberculosis.
tuberculosis.
Yeah,
Oh
a lot of
wow.
kittens. Yeah, that's why they say you're not supposed to pet the kittens because if they bite you, they can give you tuberculosis.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, a
Um,
lot of exotic animals do the same.
so speaking of tuberculosis and exotic animals, let's talk about something that is pretty prominent right now in the news: the coronavirus.
COVID.
So I was
COVID-19.
COVID-19. So I was doing a little bit of reading, and this was really interesting. So US overtook Italy and China as the country with the highest number of cases on Thursday. So that was yesterday. So it was actually kind of intense, like to read that, like, oh my gosh, like, wow.
And they want to
So we're
open
locked up
up the
inside.
country. It's a bit weird that they already want to open up the country as our numbers keep going up.
Right. Our president is saying that he wants to open it up by Easter. So, I mean, in a couple of weeks. So
A bit ambitious.
Thursday alone was our highest number day, where there was 15,000 new cases in the US. So that was yesterday, 15,000 new cases yesterday alone. So
But you know
far in
what?
the
You can check.
US, what's that?
I was gonna say maybe we can check it right now and see what it is because they update it constantly. It might be even more.
Okay, let's see. Do you want to look it up because you're
Yeah,
probably
I'll look it
quicker at
up. Go
that?
ahead.
Um, but yeah, I mean, since that yesterday, I mean, it's already hours in today, so yeah, they might have some new information. But so as of yesterday, so far in the U.S. alone, there was 82,000 cases. So China reported 81,285 cases. This is all as of yesterday, so I mean, the numbers very well could have changed, but I mean.
Yeah. Oh
So what,
wow.
over 700 and something cases higher than China now? And they were saying in
Then
the US, what's that?
I have the new total for you.
Yeah, what is it?
139,000. Almost 15,000 new cases from yesterday.
Wait, 139 what?
139,000 cases in the US alone.
Wow.
And get this, even Italy now surpassed China with 86,000 to China's 81,000.
Dang, that's crazy. And what source are you using for this?
Worldmeter.info. It's the one I've been.
Worldmeter.info.
Yeah, anytime. Well, I just typed in coronavirus numbers, and it's always the first one that's come up. But I believe they're getting their information from the John Hopkins medical school.
Hopkins?
Hopkins, sorry, I couldn't remember what
Okay.
it was. Hold on, I'll go through it and see where the data is coming from.
Okay. Yeah, but that's a lot of cases. I mean, when we're looking at 15,000 new cases in one day.
Yeah, it's a bit. I can understand why people are like, oh well, I can and I can't, because some people are like, oh well, this kills more than that. This kills more than that. But it's like, I think with the speed that this kills people is why it is so alarming, because it's I just read the other day that a 16-year-old died, and everyone's like, oh, but it's not affecting kids.
I think that what they were saying that I had read about was that so younger children, like actual kids, weren't necessarily getting infected by it because, one of the shots that they had, but two, they have been susceptible to so many new like flus and stuff like that their bodies are building up like the antibodies against it. Whereas younger adults, they were saying their immune systems were so strong that their immune systems were killing like the good cells and stuff like that. So that was the problem with like younger adults. Whereas they had the different like age groups where like the older people were just dying from it because their bodies weren't able to, I guess, fight it off. Where the younger adults, their body was fighting too much of it. And where the people in the middle were just right. I don't know if I explained that correctly. I think I had seen that on YouTube. We will watch way too much YouTube lately.
Don't we all?
But
well, I'm looking at the website that I just mentioned earlier, and it seems they're getting their information from the World Health Organization, because I clicked on the bottom, and the World Health Organization releases the World Health Organization. The WHO?
Wait, who? Who?
Oh, okay, I got you. So there, you dork. I was like, did my mic cut out? What happened? So, yeah, that's where they're getting their information from.
I see. So, anyways. But yeah, so I also see here that the death rate had increased a little bit as well. So it looked like as of yesterday in the US, 1,195 deaths were reported in the United States as of Thursday. I don't have the other numbers from, like China or Italy, but I know that it's increasing. And I watched another video on YouTube again. It had kind of explained the like rapid growth of it. So it was actually really, really interesting. So they had explained it as an empty pond, right? And one day one lily pad pops up. Each lily pad can reproduce in 24 hours, right? So day one, there's one lily pad. And 24 hours later, there's two lily pads. It doesn't look bad because, it's been 24 hours and there's only one more, right? But each 24 hours, each lily pad can reproduce one time. So 24 hours later, now there's 4 lily pads, right? Because each one reproduced one time. Well, then 24 hours later, there's each lily pad produced one more. So now there's 8 lily pads. And this has only been another 24-hour period, right? So essentially now in each 24-hour period, it's doubling. So imagine, there's 50 lily pads right at that point. And then 24 hours later, there's 50 more lily pads. So they were saying that the time that it takes from partial of that pond to be covered in lily pads to just 24 hours later where it keeps doubling. It was actually incredible to watch this video. I don't remember what it was called, but maybe look up lily pads in a pond coronavirus or something, and you'll probably will find it. And the guy did an amazing job of explaining it, and it kind of just gave us reason to kind of social distance, stay inside, and self-quarantine.
Tell me, how is that going now that we have a confirmation?
Say that again.
Tell me, how is that going now that we have a confirmation?
A confirmation of the lily pads in the pond, or?
That is correct.
Right. So, we just have to figure out a way that we can all stay inside, but that's kind of hard to do too when, we might not have that much food at home, or, we want to go outside, or, we get stir crazy, we get bored. Another thing too.
Uber Eats.
What's that?
Does that exist there? Uber Eats.
It does. But I think the tricky part too, though, is getting stuff delivered. What's the difference of walking to your car, getting in your car and driving to a drive-through and getting the food? Because remember that thing? I'm going to refer back to it. Where we're talking about, how long does something live on a surface for? Like cardboard, 24 hours. How long does it live on a plastic bag? If you get your food delivered, they leave it at your front door. Well, how do you know that delivery person didn't have it?
Yeah. So, someone sent me something that it turned out to be a joke later, was that you were supposed to leave your groceries in your car for an hour and a half after you got them in case someone touched them, and also to leave your shoes outside and sanitize them before you brought them inside. But then apparently it turned out to be a joke. But yeah, I guess it is a tricky thing because what if someone did? Because sometimes people like grab something in the store on the shelf and they put it back. They're like, no, I don't want that one. I want this one.
Right. Or you're shopping and you pick something up. What?
Oh, I was just speaking of which, did you ever see that video where the guy is in Walmart and he licks all the women's deodorant?
No. Was he infected?
I don't know, but I just saw he has now been arrested and he is in jail.
Why did he lick the deodorant?
I guess he was just trying to go viral or something, and he did because he just licked like literally the whole shelf. Like,
but why was that illegal? Like, when was this?
I saw that video a few days ago. I think it's just because it's causing public panic and fear, and just like that lady who coughed on $35,000 worth of groceries.
Oh, did you have to buy them?
They didn't say that yet. They had her arrested, but I mean, she literally purposely went and coughed on all the fresh produce, and the store had said out an abundance of caution, even when so many are going hungry, that we thought the right thing to do was to just dump all the food in the trash can.
Why not just scrub it and clean it?
It's fresh produce like lettuce, tomatoes, onions, carrots. I mean,
yeah, that'd be rough. But going back, my mom was ordering something from Amazon Prime, and so I talked to her yesterday on the phone, and I said, hey, you know what? Try just to leave it outside. Leave it on the porch for 24 hours before you take it inside, and when you bring it inside, but it's cardboard. We said cardboard is 24 hours. Remember?
Yes, but we're from California in the LA area. This isn't like Kentucky with, a house that's like.
Oh, well, the advantage that my mom has is that their house, they have the driveway in front, and the house entrance is kind of at an angle. So it is kind of protected by a porch. And there's like wooden beams that kind of protect it from the street. So someone driving by necessarily wouldn't see the package sitting on the porch. And they have cameras and a ring and everything. So, I mean, if somebody did approach the porch, they would know before they're even on the porch. But I told her, I was like, you know what, grab wipes, wipe it down before you bring it in the house. And I was like, if you don't need it, don't order it right now, wait, but she needed it. But
it's difficult though, because it's like right now I keep thinking to myself, like, I need to get it, a new, what is that? Solid state disk drive. Okay. And but I go through in my head, I was like, oh, do I need to get it right now or should I wait? I go back and forth in my head, like like you said, do I really need it right now? Or is it better to make purchases at a later date when we know what's going on with the world, the economy, and everything? Like,
right.
What if I don't work again?
Right. But you can't have that mindset. And I think a lot of people are having that mindset too. Like, oh, let's wait and see. Like yesterday, we got an email to support the zoo. And I had that same thing. I was like, you know what, why don't we wait and see where things are going? Luckily, neither of us are out of work. But you never know. The zoo, like they definitely do need the help, but we're the same place you're coming from now. Maybe I'm going to wait. But at the same time, if everyone has that same mindset, that is why maybe the economy is going to struggle. But
well, I don't know. I think it's more that a lot of people are. Did you see 3 million unemployment claims already?
Oh, so I saw the graph.
A lot of people have been. A lot of people have been let go, and some people have been fired. I just the other day I was talking to a friend. He's like, "I gotta go." I was like, "What?" Like, I'm in the middle of telling you this story that I need help with. And he's like, I'll call you later. He calls me back and he goes, one of my friends, he called me in tears. He said, and I was like, okay, why was he crying? He's like, because he had put a notice on his job and he had planned to leave to go to another job. He already had the contract. Everything was signed, ready to go. So it was literally his like last day. And then he's supposed to start that other job next week. And the other job next week said, thanks, but no thanks. So you imagine he has no job now.
Wow. That's rough.
I know. And it's just like, but wait, you did everything on your part, the right thing. You gave notice to a job. You found another job. They you arranged everything to go properly. And now because the coronavirus thing hits and it's just like, we no longer need your services. I mean, it's just like, I literally just left another job to join your company.
Right.
And I told him, it's like, really, so many companies have zero loyalty to people that give all their loyalty to the company.
Now, another thing too, though, is you gave that number, and I don't know the exact unemployment number right now, but being here, like in the United States, one of the interesting things that the government is doing is that you don't have to necessarily be unemployed; you just have to be out of work. So, like, if your job, say for example, you're a waiter, you're a bartender, you're an Uber driver, things like that. If you're struggling and you're not working because the demand is low, or because your establishment closed, or say you work at a retail store and you're not a non-essential retail store, like you sell clothing or something like that, the store closed, you can still file for unemployment. Even though you're going back to work, you can still file for it.
That's good. I just saw today that Americans abroad can also receive the stimulus check, which is actually a really good thing.
Interesting.
Well, I didn't think I was going to qualify for being abroad, but it said, no, if you pay taxes and you filed a tax return, if you're going to file your 2019 tax return that would normally be in 2 weeks time, then you would qualify for the stimulus check, which is normally, I think the last time they did that whole stimulus thing, Americans abroad didn't qualify.
Okay. I don't know.
So this time that's nice.
But at the same time, maybe it's because it's a global thing right now, where the last time it was 9/11, or it was, it was a lot.
It was a financial crash.
When was that though?
It was I think that was, when was that? It was like 8 or 9 years ago, because it was the last time I was in the US is when it happened.
Okay, I don't remember that because I don't even know if I got anything. But they were saying too that this is global, so maybe that's why, because it affects everybody. Yeah. So even if you're, in France,
no, even an economic, but the world markets are all reliant on the US, it seems, a lot of times, because you see that they started dropping when we started dropping, and then once they announced the $2 trillion stimulus, all the world markets started going up. Everyone started rebounding because a lot of people hold their currency in the US as well. And it's also an important market for a lot of industries as well to export into the US.
Yeah. I don't know. Only time will really tell. So we'll soon find out.
Are you worried, like, if you could lose your job? And
No, I feel that my job, I'm in a pretty stable position, where our resources and our goods and what we do, it's going nowhere. We're going to be there forever. So
what about anyone else do you think that they have maybe a possibility of losing their job? Or
I have friends who I can think of now who I would be worried that possibly they will lose a job. People who, for example, I have several bartender friends. They're small bars. What if they don't recover? What if this is just such a loss? Or if the owners are like, you know what, we're just done, and they don't reopen the doors. The people who are working there. And even at the same time, the people who are working in bars and who are filing for unemployment, think how much money do they actually claim on their tax return versus how much money do they actually put in their pocket at the end of the day?
That's that server thing where they only claim their credit card tips. I mean, I guess
right.
that, your dishonesty gets you in the end.
Yeah, and I think too. I think the law is I think it's 10% that you have to like automatically claim. And if people don't do over that amount, then their tax returns are going to look small. Their unemployment checks are going to be small. But how are they going to pay their rent? How are they going to pay any other bills that they have, or their electricity bill, food, any credit cards, or their car note, car insurance, different things like that. So I think that's going to be rough just in general, for other people. But as for people losing jobs, yeah, I'm sure. One of my really good longtime friends is an airline pilot, and he was just telling me that he's furloughed until the middle of April, meaning he's not working. So
at least that's pretty soon. Everything in the television world has been put on hold in Europe, at least for 3 months.
Oh, 3 months.
Sucks. Yeah,
wow.
Minimum, it seems. And some people are saying even 6 months.
It's a long time.
So it's a very long time.
So what are they? Are they doing anything like for unemployment, or are they providing any kind of like supplementary income for people who are working in that field, or what are they doing?
It depends on where you are in what country, and how you decided to register. So it's it's hectic. Television is obviously the viewing numbers are going up because people are watching TV and everything. So, but still, if the productions don't come back, a lot of people in that industry and all those families and everything that touches that, people think it's just Hollywood stars, but it's not. It's you have all of your below the line people who just work normal jobs, food workers, catering, set design, florist, car service. The list goes on and on of all the industries that it touches that actually have not much to do with the actual, filming or script or anything like the production side of it that will suffer.
Yeah. So let me stop you right there, Freddy, because we have a special guest.
Yes, we do. Speaking of entertainment, we have someone who is a dear friend of mine who I've known since I started in television, and we started pretty much together.
Let's welcome.
I don't remember what show. Let's welcome Mason LeCompte.
Let's see how this works. Welcome.
Oh, there we
go. Hello.
Hey, I'm here at
Mason. How are you?
In Hollywood.
Oh, you're in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yes,
I can hear you.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just want to say I can't believe you took 12 inches in your nose. That's impressive.
Yes. It was pretty interesting. I will say that.
If you didn't know, Mason is actually a stand-up comedian.
Yes. And I've been really scared. This is really scary. I heard what you were saying about having to have papers to leave the house. Freddy?
Yeah.
That's terrifying. That makes me think of something that rhymes with Yahtzee Wormany. But,
yeah.
But here it's like, I'm lucky that I'm a comedian, so I was already broke and unemployed to begin with. But it's really hard to see a lot of people who have kids who are losing their jobs. And I don't know, I can't help but go to my conspiracy theory place on all of this.
I would love to hear those, because you have always been someone who knows, and I used to think this girl is just crazy. She doesn't know what she's doing, but she's really fun. And then everything you say always ends up happening, even if it was years later. We're here right now.
I'm sorry.
No, I wish I would have jumped on that bandwagon before.
So you guys know about like the New World Order and the Illuminati and the One World Government?
Not really, but you
I
can
believe
tell
that
us more.
Huh?
I was saying, tell us
I
more.
believe that. Yeah, the WHO. I think the WHO. They're behind this. I think they're trying to devalue the American dollar, create a new digital currency. Yeah, my volume is going crazy. Hold on. My phone's heating up now. This is weird. Okay. I think they're trying to.
I know you're talking about them. They've got you. I know she's been Illuminati compromised. She's gone.
And then they're going to come in with a digital currency and a one world government. And I'm too old to be a handmaiden, so I'm guessing they're going to make me into Soylent Green at this point. That's my.
Well, no, if you can't be a handmaiden, you might be one of the. You might be one of the ladies in the kitchens. That's
true. I hope they can find a place for me in the New World Order.
But then
another theory, though. Another theory. This one's interesting. Is that there's 3 huge asteroids heading towards Earth right now, and you can look that up. That's true. And one theory is true. Going to pass close enough to cause a pole shift, which is going to cause mass earthquakes and volcanoes and tsunamis. So they want us all to be prepared for that.
I guess it would, but then again, it would depend on where it impacted, though, on how it affected the people. But I did see that actually, because ironically, was it the last time we spoke, Fernando? And I said the only thing that would just make April, continue along the lines of 2020 was if the aliens came down and saw us, and now there's 3 asteroids on the way.
Right, but then actually, there's a third theory, which is that this is all just a good cover-up. I mean, like the virus is real, but the good guys, the white hats, are going to turn around and use this to put all the corrupt politicians and satanic Illuminati movie stars in jail, and then say they got the coronavirus.
I don't believe that one. But the interesting thing is
well, the aliens can give us free technology and free us from our reptilian slaves. I don't know, masters. I don't know.
I would not mind a Mac Air that could have, a lot more memory and RAM in that small design. I mean, if the aliens can come and do all that and give me a decent camera and microphone, I mean, join us.
That's what I hope.
Go ahead,
Freddy was saying, though, that he considered a bacteria to be an alien. So, hey, what if the coronavirus is really just an alien, Freddy? What if they came down early?
Well, no, that's what I was going to say about the.
Did you test positive?
Oh, we haven't got there yet.
Oh, okay.
We haven't gotten there yet.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I actually, this is kind of, I was thinking this last night when I read this on the Associated Press, was that they did an article to prove why the coronavirus was not man-made. And I kind of thought, how sad is that now we don't trust any governments to think that this wasn't some way to sabotage some country or some way that they literally had to do the whole, I don't know if they said it was genoming or just looking at the DNA, but they could see that it was actually a natural virus because of the way it attached to it exploited something in human cells that made it natural and not a man-made, because the technology isn't currently there yet.
Well, I have a theory around that too, that maybe in Wuhan, China, in that laboratory, they were making hybrid animals. So they made like a half bat, half snake, and it bit somebody that worked there and gave them the disease.
So this is a flying snake?
Wait a minute. But that already exists. That's a Mexican god. When you go to Mexico, you see that one.
Chupacabra.
It's literally like a snake with... No, Chupacabra drinks the blood of the animals. But it's like that. It's literally like a really... I just saw a picture of it earlier.
Quetzalcoatl?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
That's
probably
it.
saying it wrong, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. They knew. They knew.
Oh my goodness.
I know. I'm like, just give me a second. I'm just going to tuck right into this fried pangolin for my new YouTube series, Fried Pangolin Strips with Fernando.
I cannot with you right now.
Okay, right now, and I'm gonna be like holding up my pangolin tail and be like, Fernando, hear the crunch of this, like.
Ew! Look who's here. It's another special guest.
Oh, who's this?
It's Anubis.
Anubis. Well, hello.
He replaced, although no one can really replace Licky.
No,
Licky.
that was a sad. Yeah, that was her. Okay, get this. We used to work on TV sets and everything, and she would bring her dog with her to work everywhere we went. Licky was always there, like everywhere. This was before people even allowed like dogs into restaurants, and we would have Licky with us.
That's right.
What kind of dog was Licky?
Everywhere. Chihuahua.
What kind of dog was Licky? Okay.
He was like
Yeah,
a
but
Oh, that's cute.
She's like part Chihuahua, part Beagle, I think.
Huh?
No, she was small though. She was like, I have that picture of her. Remember, in my arms
Yeah.
at Runyon Canyon.
She just had a little bit of something else in her, but mostly Chihuahua. Oh, I know that picture. Cute. I miss you.
Freddy.
I miss that dog.
Freddy, please tell me that you just said Running Canyon.
Yeah, Runyon Canyon.
Oh, okay. I heard Running Canyon. Like, oh, I'm running.
No, come on, Fernando. You know.
Down.
They what?
They closed Runyon Canyon.
Temporarily.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, hopefully.
So, like, the gates are closed over there, or like, how is it?
Yeah, I think they must have closed the gates. They just announced that it's closed.
Okay. Do you live near there?
How are people going to take their selfies?
Right.
Right.
How are we going to take a shirtless selfie with LA in the background?
To be honest, life without shopping, I'm not sure if that's worth living. You know? I heard Marshalls and TJ Maxx closed. I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
All those deals.
You don't. When have you ever shopped there, Mason?
Yeah. That's where I got everything.
I got it at Ross. Didn't we have an
what
adventure
sucks,
at
though,
Ross,
is-
Fernando?
Yeah, Ross.
Possibly.
As long as Ross stays open, life will be worth living. Okay.
Because
Ross
I
is
want to say that we were putting like lampshades on our heads and walking around the store in Ross one time, and they kicked us out.
Maybe they were hats. Maybe they were hats.
No,
So
because
you remember
that's
a
what you
hat
were saying.
adventure.
You were saying, I think you were saying, Freddy, look at my new hat, and you put the light shade on your head. It was like a really thick light shade.
Okay, where are the receipts? Show me the receipts for this.
I think I have the
Prove it
receipt
happened.
somewhere.
Prove it happened. The
You
receipts,
guys are
the
breaking up
evidence.
a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
So he was saying that we were inside
guys
of
are
a
breaking
Ross. He was saying we were inside of a Ross store and we were wearing lampshades on our heads and they kicked us out. So I asked him for the evidentiary support, the receipts.
Lampshades.
I it literally happened. I remember. Wait, but Mason, I would like if you could touch on how coronavirus has affected you in the industry right now. Like, I remember you mentioned something about a show you had been booked for.
Wait, say it one more time. You're breaking up. I'm sorry.
I was saying I wanted you to tell us how, because of the coronavirus, how it's affected you in the industry, and about how you had a show booked, lined up, ready to go, and now this happened.
Yeah, I felt like my career was taking off. I booked a comedy show. Now it's canceled. Now you can't even do stand up. You can't even have a group of people together. So I'm royally fucked. Right
But you
now.
can do it online. You've been funny right now.
What?
I said you've been funny right now.
People are doing that. They're doing live streams. They're doing live streams now. So
Well,
definitely
yeah, you
getting
can-
a lot of material.
What about like Facebook or Instagram Live or either of those two? Just at least to get people to watch and get your name out there.
Yeah.
in the meantime?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. And our governor's saying it could be 2 more months. So it sounds like I'll have plenty of time to do that.
I feel like it's going to be a long while.
Well, here in France, supposedly it should be finished Monday, and I have a feeling, not really. I think it'll go on for another few weeks again.
Yeah.
And the
So
thing is, now I feel bad because I remember when like guys would hit me up online and they would be like, "What's your hopes and dreams?" And I would be like, "To be the sole survivor event, so I wouldn't have to answer stupid questions from random dude." Now I'm like, be careful what you wish. You know?
Well, if you've got the secret and the cure, Mason, maybe you are part of the Illuminati and all this stuff trying to kill the world. What she just said right now, she was thinking that this was going to devalue the currency, and she's going to be the sole survivor. So it looks like whoever said it dealt it.
Wait, say it one more time.
He's saying that you're the reason. He's saying that you're the reason.
The reason. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So,
but it's like, yeah, where was guys hitting me up, and I'm. Oh, sorry.
Actually, that was my question: is how are the apps in LA right now with everyone supposed to be in quarantine?
How is it in LA right now?
How are the apps? How are the dating apps right now?
Oh,
I think it's just a really bad connection.
Yeah. And I got guys gave me chlamydia. Do you think I'm going to let you give me the plague? Like, no. You know?
So are people still trying to like get together and like go like on a date or like hang out? Like how is that? Because I wonder the same thing.
Yeah, yes. They're trying to quarantine and chill.
Be like, but how do I know?
But is it really happening or not?
I'm just like, no.
So it's not happening with her. It's not happening with her, but in general.
I have a bad connection.
I think because everybody's using the internet right now, I think it's just kind of a bad lag with everyone being online and being, almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I think it's kind of like peak time. And I think that's just the reason, but I don't know.
It's the Illuminati.
Yes, they're after us. So how is Hollywood acting right now? Like if you look out or if you were to get in your car and go for a little drive just because you wanted to get on the street and get out of your house, like how do the streets look over there in Hollywood?
It's creepy. It's pretty empty. The people that are out are wearing latex gloves and masks, a lot of them. People are giving each other, like walking to the other side of the sidewalk if they see you because they're scared of you. A lot of paranoia.
Yeah. Dang. That's kind of intense. And just to think too, like about, first responders and like the police and the firefighters and the paramedics that are responding to all of this and going out there, not knowing what they're getting into or what people they're talking to or interacting with, on a daily basis. I was out last week, and I saw a firefighter at the scene of an accident, and he had this like big old mask on, which you should have been wearing yesterday, Freddy, when you were looking at your neighbor welding. Like it kind of looked like that. It was this huge, big old thing, and I was like, "Oof!" It was just intense.
But the thing is, the people are still allowed to wander around, and face plant sidewalk, and pee and poo everywhere. It's annoying.
All the homeless people. How are the homeless people reacting? Like, are they just acting like nothing's changed?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think they really knew what was going on before, so I think they know what's going on
Oh,
now.
that's true. I guess if they don't have access to the internet or, TV, then they wouldn't be able to see the news and to see everything going on. They just walk by McDonald's and be like, why are the doors locked?
What?
Why would they be going to McDonald's?
Well, they got to eat. They're begging for money, and if they want to get a burger, I was saying that like the homeless people, if they're walking around, they don't know what's going on, but yet they walk up to McDonald's and the lobby's closed or they can't get in. They're just wondering, oh, why is the door locked? Like, what's going on? Why is the drive-through line so long and nobody inside the restaurant?
But maybe a lot of them have phones, they have smartphones, so maybe they're just, they can read the news.
Where do they charge that smartphone?
That's true.
Oh, now they can't charge them. Yeah, because normally they probably go into a place to charge them. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And especially, it's been a little chilly out too. Like, I don't know. I kind of feel bad.
Also, I know. I feel bad for a lot of people. But also, like now they're saying like if you can steal a car and do a high-speed car chase, and it's only going to be like so if you have Grand Theft Auto fantasies, now is your time. Now you need to steal a car. You can commit all kinds of petty crimes and you won't get in trouble as long as they're non-violent.
Well, I think you will get in trouble. They just won't do it right now. They'll just be like, okay, well, because of the coronavirus and you being in jail and possibly spreading it, we're just going to have you come back at a later date if you're still alive.
If you're still alive. Well, if they can find out who you are too.
Well, why wouldn't they be able to find out who they are? Technology still works.
Right, but like Mason was saying, if you steal a car, how are they going to know who stole the car? What if you wore latex gloves? You get the keys to the car or find a way to get the car. You drive the car, and if the police, she's saying that if it's not a violent crime, so I guess if you took the keys from someone's house when they weren't home, I don't know how you got the keys or if you have a spare to someone's car.
Did you already plan this out?
No, but
I don't see the ring light.
I'm trying to make it so that way none of the leading up to it is a felony. So if you just take it, but I think that stealing a car, I think that is a felony, isn't it? No, is the value? Because the value of the car.
No, now they've changed it. I watched a high-speed car chase yesterday on KTLA live stream.
Oh, okay.
And the guy was saying that unless somebody gets hurt, this is just going to be a misdemeanor. So this is
so did he steal the car? Did he steal the car or was it already his car? Was it his car already or did he steal the car?
I'm not sure.
But maybe it's because of all the resources right now are spread so thin.
I think the reason that they're doing this right now, though, is it's not necessarily because the resources are spread so thin. It's because they're not pursuing as small of crimes right now. I know that I had heard on the news that if in some cities, I think it was like Ohio or Chicago or something, that some crimes weren't even going to be investigated right now. They weren't sending the police out because they didn't want the police to be exposed to certain things or to certain situations or to certain people.
Yeah, but that scares me because that's like that whole thing during Hurricane Katrina when all those people were stealing and robbing and killing each other, and none of those crimes ever got solved during that time period.
Yeah. But I think maybe that's what they're trying to avoid. What's that?
Well, all I know is if we have a purge, the hardware stores are still open. So I might go get like a nail gun, a chainsaw.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wood. I think you should just be Elvira and get yourself the bazooka and the bandana.
The bazooka?
Do you remember that movie where she has the bazooka? She just blows the guy away. The demon.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
You haven't? It's an 80s classic. You have to see that one. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
I don't even... Oh, that's the name of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, interesting. I have never heard of it, and I probably won't watch it, but interesting to know about.
You should watch it because it'll make, because she always does her show at Knott's Berry Farm in Halloween.
Oh, okay. Is it a cartoon?
No, it's a movie. A really I don't know how to describe it. It's a comedy.
Okay.
Yeah, a really cheesy comedy it's bad but it's good. It's so bad it's good. That's what you should say. Yeah.
It's so bad that it's good.
Yeah, it is. I mean, because she's like, she hands it up. She knows like she's like a bad actress in it. So, and it's just like, it's really funny.
All right. Well.
Yeah. And so with all of this going on, are you really thinking there's going to be a purge and you're getting ready?
Yeah. Actually, if there's looting, I'm gonna go to Sephora. Forget it.
Sephora.
Flat screen TV. I'm going to Sephora. Do you know how expensive makeup is?
No. But you know, for some reason I was on YouTube and I keep getting all these commercials for La Mer, and apparently it's a lotion or a moisturizer for $1,500.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, what is in this? Like, do I need to try it so I can, or what is YouTube trying to tell me? Your camera's so bad and Fernando looks good. Go get yourself some moisturizer.
Can you see us now?
Yeah, you cut out for a minute. It's hard to hear you.
We're talking about $1,500 face moisturizer that Freddy saw on YouTube that he was tempted to buy.
How did you know I was tempted to buy it? I literally was like, hold on, let me go. I literally went to see if I could get it in France.
You went to go see if it was available?
Yeah, I wanted the eye cream. I don't need it yet, but I said, let me do preventative measures because if it's this much, it might actually work.
That's what they want you to think and spend the money on it.
I know, but it did look nice though. It had like a nice little like thing. I was just like, now this is, because I know that a lot of my well-to-do friends, their mothers use this product, and it really is small. So I've seen them use it. So it must, if so many women of means use this, then it must be good.
Or they think that it is, and so they're going to try it for a few years and waste some money. So it's $1,500 for a small container, and that small container lasts you a month?
Well, not all. No, it should last you a lot longer than that. It should last you maybe a year. But I think it was just the one I was looking at. The size, it was that much. But I think you can get it as cheap as $200.
Okay. Oh, that's not bad then. I thought we were talking $1,500.
Well, there is one that is $1,500, but they had other ones.
It's a lot of money. I think I spent $20 on my face cream. That will last me a good 6 months.
Okay, so yeah, so I see you can get one for as cheap as $125.
Wow.
Oh wow! What brand?
Well,
La Mer.
What brand? Oh.
La Mer. Are you going to order it, Freddy?
I kind of thought I should order it and then we do a video on it where I try it out for like a few months and see if it works.
Make sure you leave it on the porch for 24 hours, please.
And then someone steals my La Mer.
Yeah.
Calling back. I need a new shipment, please. Someone stole it.
Yeah, someone stole it. So I can do. Then I send you one and we both do it. Jokes.
See who looks better after 24 days.
Well, I saw this one on a French TV show where they were doing snail cream, and they were taking snail eggs and making it into a cream, and apparently it worked really good. And they had like this hydrometer that they would scan on your face. So they scanned your face in the beginning, they scanned your face a week into it, and I think they did it for like a month and a half, and then they finally at the end, the best cream ended up being the snail cream.
It's pretty gross.
Well, good skin comes at a price, Fernando.
Yeah, it's pretty gross, to be honest.
I think I'd try it. Well, you don't like snails, though. Like, what if I gave you like a shrimp cream? Oh, look at your face.
Why would I want a shrimp cream?
Because what if it's amazing for your skin?
We're gonna like crush shrimp and squeeze their juices out, or what?
Can I tell you, Mason? The one thing, well, Fernando doesn't like shrimp, and sometimes I think to myself, well, seafood. Well, I always think to myself, shrimp literally are like cockroaches of the sea. So sometimes when you look at them, you're like, this literally is like must be what an insect tastes like.
You lost me for a minute there.
No, shrimp.
Oh.
He thinks that a shrimp maybe tastes like a cockroach.
Yeah.
Maybe a cockroach tastes like a shrimp.
Or maybe it tastes like chicken.
Maybe. Hopefully we don't find out.
Well, wait, are we thinking that a cockroach tastes like chicken?
Yes, cockroaches can taste like chicken.
If I run out of food, there's snails. There's snails out front of my building to eat. I can make some escargot.
That's all you. Share. You and Freddy can share that.
And I actually don't. I'm not a big fan of snails. I've eaten them before, but it's not. There are things, Fernando, that I think would make you gag because they eat sea snails here with mayonnaise. Literally, like, take the sea snail out, eat the mayonnaise, and you see all along the coast. I mean, it's like a delicacy. Like you'll see them eating them. Like, oh, this is so good. Different kinds of snails and different sizes and colors, and I can't. That one gets me a little because they're like green, and they pull them out of the shell. And they're cold. And
my stomach is just like I'm ready to gag right now. I'm not happy with that at all.
I just want to do like a YouTube series called Fernando Eats. Because Fernando eats nothing. So I just want to go and take Fernando to all around the world and make Fernando eat things that he doesn't want to eat.
I'm just particular on what I do eat. I eat a lot. I eat a lot of different things. You know what I had for snack today before we came on? I had...
Hold on. Fernando, you had snack?
Of course. Pre-lunch.
You're not 12 years old.
Well, we had breakfast. And it was too early for lunch. So we had a snack, a pre-lunch, like, and have lunch after the show.
Sorry. I love that you're in quarantine, so you're breaking up your meals to have like 7 meals in a day. I have morning snack, I have breakfast, morning snack, lunch, after lunch snack, before dinner snack, and then dinner, and maybe a dessert and dessert snack.
Yeah, of course. Mason, how many meals a day? Are you in quarantine right now? Mason, are you in quarantine right now?
I honestly was so anxious about this because I have a lot of money invested, you know, for retirement, like in like 401ks and in the stock market. So I was so nervous about that I couldn't keep anything down for a couple of days. Like I've been like trying to force feed myself and throwing up again, but I've lost so much weight. My stomach is flat. I think I'm like the same weight I was in high school, like free liposuction.
So this coronavirus has been a bonus for you.
I'm like body by COVID-19, you know.
I need to start seeing this post on Instagram, body by COVID-19. See all the gym guys with little arms because they can't go lift anymore. All the girls are super thin from the anxiety.
Yeah.
Well,
so
Ooh, it's crazy.
no crazy meal plans for you. Clearly, you're losing weight. I'm gaining it. I'm eating like 10 meals a day. Freddy said 7, but it's a lot of food nonstop.
I counted 9.
We literally had to order more quarantine snacks because we ate all of our quarantine snacks the first couple of days. So it's bad.
I have, on the other hand, been really good with my diet.
Are your abs coming in?
Go ahead, Mason.
Great. You look great. You look really healthy, Freddy.
Thank you. Because, I was trying to get to, when Fernando announced the reboot of the Fernando and Freddy show, one of my concern was that I would be the fat sidekick. So I started dieting again. And not that I was fat, but I mean, I went to the doctor and I was like, because naturally I can never blame myself for my own health problems. It's always someone else. So I went to the doctor to check my cholesterol and they said, your cholesterol's high. So I said, oh, okay, reason to go on a diet. Number 4.
Reason to go on a diet.
Wait, what was the last thing you cut out? What was the last thing you said, Freddy?
Reason to go on a diet.
Yeah. So I wasn't the fat friend.
What else was I gonna say?
So are you eating or you're not eating?
I'm eating again now, but I couldn't eat for the first couple of days. Had so much anxiety.
But your anxiety wasn't over getting sick, it was over your financial accounts?
Yeah. But I took most of my money out of the stock market, so I feel better now and I can eat again.
But why did you do that? It's going back up again.
I know, but I think it's going to go down again.
Yeah.
I
guess not really, because mine.
I want to know. I just don't want to gamble with it,
Mm-hmm.
I might regret this big time, but I didn't.
Maybe, or maybe, like you said, you were going to be the sole survivor of a zombie apocalypse. So I guess you'll be able to use all that money as toilet paper when there's no more toilet paper being made.
Yeah, if I'm the sole survivor, I'm gonna go hang out in the mansions up in Hollywood, and it'll be awesome. I'll just have mannequins as friends, and I'll get a German Shepherd. It's gonna.
Okay. I am Robot. I got that reference. Or no, sorry, not I Am Robot. I Am Legend.
I don't even know what movie she's talking about. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, mannequins as friends.
Will Smith's movie where the virus starts spreading and then people become zombies.
Okay, but that's not going to happen here.
I don't know. A lot of people
know?
are zombies, I think. So it's really not that far off from reality.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but going back to what you guys said earlier about people wearing gloves and stealing cars, and I was just thinking, that's true. Everyone's got masks on right now. They've got gloves. They may have bad wigs on. You wouldn't know.
Bad wigs.
Well, to cover up the identity. I mean, if you're going to steal a car, wouldn't you wear a wig?
I guess you could. I'm wearing mine now.
Yeah, my friend was like, we should start dealing drugs because if they pull you over, it's just a misdemeanor. So I feel
it depends how much.
Really gonna work in the face.
Can I tell you, I've asked.
Now is the time for criminal enterprise.
But that's why I was laughing now because criminal enterprises, she said. But I think actually now is probably the most dangerous time because the supplies are probably super low for all the drug users. So that means more profit. So, people become super ruthless when you mess with their money. So I wouldn't do that.
Well, I did stock up on weed. You know me. That was the first thing I did. I was like, food, weed. And I bought $250 of marijuana at the store. That's my survival supplies.
You have a card, or what'd you do for your anxiety?
It's recreational now.
Oh, it is. But is it helping you through this time though? Like with your anxiety and fear and trepidation of just everything that's going on around you?
Yes. Yeah, a lot. It's definitely helping a lot. And I was going to quit drinking, but then I discovered Saucy delivers alcohol.
What is Saucy?
I think we lost Fernando.
No, he stepped out to use the bathroom.
Okay. I can hear you a lot better now, though.
Yeah, I think sometimes the connection, I might share the connection. I don't know. But so how are you as far as your stand-up going? What are you going to do now that, did they say they would rebook you once everything is back on track, or just everything's just on hold indefinitely?
It's on hold indefinitely right now. Everything is, which is scary and weird.
Are you still auditioning right now, or is that also on hold?
Everything is on hold. Everything, except the only thing that you can do is go to the grocery store or the doctor. They still are allowing construction.
Yeah.
But that's in delivery. But here's the thing that I don't get is the restaurant thing. I feel like you would be more likely to get something from someone coughing into your food than you would from being in the same restaurant as somebody else eating food. So that's why the whole delivery takeout thing doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I guess I would imagine that if you are the owner of a restaurant right now, you're probably being hyper vigilant with not wanting to get people sick, because, you know, people love to sue. And if I could say that it was you who got you who got me sick, I might be like, you know, I'm suing you. You exposed me to the virus. You know, lost income, blah blah blah. I can imagine that happening.
But you really have to be able to prove. You would really have to prove where it came from too, which I think might be a little difficult to do. But as you guys were saying, I think that one of the reasons too, like a lot of these restaurants are staying open, is because people don't always want to cook, and you know, they're going to want to go out and get food. And I think too, it's helping people with jobs, and it is helping, you know, like, you know, other economical things too. But we were actually discussing it yesterday and talking about like, well, what do you think? Like, why do you think that you can't eat at a restaurant? But I mean, it's just, you're touching so many things. You're so close to the server, the hostess, you're touching the menu, the table, you know, everything, you know, going to the bathroom, door handles, there's people sitting next to you or behind you. So, I mean, even if they were to try to close off, you know, part of a restaurant and keep it social distancing where, you know, you have to sit 6 feet apart from each other. But then it also comes into, well, who are you eating with? Are you eating with the people that you live with, or are you eating with people who, you know, are friends and maybe you're getting together just to go eat? So I think there's a lot of different things that actually go into that too. But so I heard that you're getting alcohol delivered, huh, Mason?
That what?
You're getting alcohol delivered, huh?
Getting out?
Alcohol.
Oh yeah, Saucy. Saucy delivers alcohol. Yeah,
now,
it's helping with the anxiety.
Do they have everything?
I mean, I
anything?
feel like I'm not even worried about the virus. Not worried about my liver from drinking so much.
Does anyone deliver cocktails?
What?
Do any of these services deliver cocktails? Like, is there a service that, like, if I was like, I want one pina colada, this and that, and then they deliver it to my door?
Dude, yeah. I think some restaurants are doing that. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how legal it is. I don't know how legal it is, but what?
Why would it be illegal?
Because usually with a liquor license, you're serving the alcohol at that location where it's actually issued to. So I don't know I don't know how legal that is for, because you can't take the alcohol out of a bar, or like at a restaurant they'll have a sign, no alcohol beyond this point. So I don't know how legal that is, because I'm sure that there's a different type of liquor license, because some restaurants serve liquor and some only serve beer and wine, and then like a liquor store has a different type of license where you can't drink that alcohol on the premises, So I don't know. I'm sure there's some sort of a regulation or restriction against it, but I'm sure no one's enforcing that right now. But I've seen on Instagram, like some restaurants, they say, we still offer bottomless mimosas for pickup or delivery. And it was like $15 for one bottle of champagne, 20 for two. And it said it came with pick your juice. So I was like, that's kind of cool. I would do that.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. Can I get brunch to go?
Connection is so bad.
What is that?
The connection is so bad. I think I should leave for a little bit and see.
Is it cutting out?
Okay. A better connection.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Mason.
It was wonderful meeting you.
I miss you so much, Fred. Love you.
Love you too. I'll see you next time I'm in LA. I'll see you both.
It's going to be soon.
Please.
Yes,
please. Okay. See ya.
I promise.
All righty.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that was fun.
Yeah, she's great. I like her.
Yeah, she was really cracking in the jokes. At first, I was like, "Wait, is she being serious?" And then it gets. She's like, "Well," that really made me laugh when she said, "As a comedian, I was already broke and unemployed." That really made me because you're almost like, "Wait a minute," she snuck that joke right in there. But I went on their website, Saucy, because I was like, I've never heard of Saucy. Now I'm trying to see if they have this cherry vodka. What is it? Black cherry vodka? You're telling what?
Oh, the Grey Goose.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Goose black cherry vodka.
Hold on. Hold the phone. So Sledka makes orange cream soda and root beer vodka, and that's Pinnacle makes cookie dough vodka. What?
Yeah, I don't think I would like that very much. I've tried like whipped cream flavored vodka, and it wasn't, I don't know, I didn't like it.
Oh, Sky makes a cherry vodka.
Oh.
And it delivers on this service. Watermelon vodka?
Now, do they deliver to you, or are you eligible for the delivery?
No, in this country, you can't get alcohol delivered. No, actually, well, no, you can in Paris, but unfortunately here, a lot of things don't extend to anywhere that's not in a city center. So you miss out on a lot of things. So unfortunately, like, I don't think I would ever be able to get a pizza delivered here.
Really?
Yeah. There's like guys will do, anyone can do like in this area that I see there's a lot of food trucks that mainly just do pizza. No, I think they all just do pizza. Oh no, there's some who do different things, but it's pretty rare. But yeah, no home delivery of anything where I am.
Dang. What would I do without my pizza?
You would be surprised because pizza is very interesting on every country I've ever lived in. It's always different. It's never what we like at home. It's completely like pepperoni is like non-existent.
It's good because I don't like it.
What?
Yeah, no pork. I don't eat pork.
Look at you with your smug look.
No pork, no seafood.
Well, look at you.
Well, look at me.
Wait, so then what do you get on your pizza?
So my all-time favorite pizza, usually it's just going to be pineapple, chicken.
Oh, yuck.
Jalapenos, and banana peppers.
Can you say good. Jalapenos? Can I hear you say jalapenos?
Jalapenos.
No. I think that's the way you should always talk. Is just I'm just gonna hold my mic so I sound like Fernando when he's talking about jalapenos. Hold on, I need to do like you. Like I have to like the thing. Like jalapenos and chicken. How about a little bit of pineapple?
Is my voice? My voice isn't that deep, is it?
When you talk like this, it is. Just
when
like
I'm
mine
up
is
close.
much deeper. Yeah, when I'm like this,
Yeah.
you're like, wow, listen to that guy. Like, who's that?
Maybe we need better microphones. Okay, so should I just talk like this the rest of the day and we'll be good?
Wait, why did your mic cut out?
Oh, was I too close? Is that why it cut out a little bit?
There you go. Now it worked. Well, we're back to the Fernando and Freddy show. We're here with Fernando, who's telling us what he likes on his pizza. And continue there, Fernando. After jalapenos, what is it that you like?
That's pretty much it. So usually it's just pineapple, chicken, jalapenos, and banana peppers. I mean, that's typically what I'll get on my pizza.
But banana peppers. I thought you were going to say banana. I was going to say that's disgusting. No banana.
Okay, no. I'm not a little like pet monkey or something. I'm not going to eat banana on my pizza.
Well, some people put strawberries on their pizza.
I've never seen or I've never heard of that before.
I think when I was in Mexico City, California Pizza Kitchen there had a chicken, strawberry chicken, because that's a salad, and apparently you could get that as a pizza as well. That's amazing. Well, they had all the greats that I found in California as well. But, you know, when I found that place in Mexico City right there at Reforma,
they have California Pizza Kitchen there?
Yeah, they have everything in Mexico City. I was just like,
wow, I didn't know that.
I told you, I said, I was home. I was literally home. Everything that I loved but Wendy's was there.
But Wendy's, the one that was closed.
Yeah, I wanted that Wendy's. I want that little, I want those chicken nuggets. And they brought them back too. I was like, they're trying to get me to come home. They're trying to get me.
Of the spicy ones or the regular ones?
Yeah. You don't like the spicy ones?
I like the spicy ones, dipped in some sweet and sour sauce.
No, why does everything have to be sweet? Oh, I was ironically today, I was remembering what you and your family basically taught me was that life was short.
Okay.
Start the dinner with the dessert.
My mom, okay.
Yes. And every time I repeat that line to me, people laugh so much and they watch me do it. I really will start the dinner sometimes with the dessert. Like, especially if I've just finished like a really hard workout, start with the dessert. Start with the dessert. I deserve it.
I deserve it. So what she'll do is you got to have two desserts. You got to have your appetizer and then you get your dessert. So it's like there's two.
Wait. Oh, I thought you have a dessert appetizer and then a dessert.
It's like carrot cake. You know, you just get a small piece before, then you eat your dinner, and then you get your regular size piece for dessert.
You see, that's the one good thing I like about you guys. You don't eat seafood, which still bothers me, though, because I always feel like we could have eaten in some amazing places, but you don't eat seafood. But
no, I don't.
Yeah, but you love chicken, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah, I do. That is my all-time favorite. So even my snack before the show today was they were mini corn dogs and they were chicken corn dogs.
Chicken corn dogs?
Yeah. I don't know what brand they were.
You know what I miss Hebrew National hot dogs. I'm
not a big hot dog eater guy, whatever.
You just ate corn dogs.
A mini corn dog, and it had like a tiny hot dog inside of it.
Oh, I need to add another restaurant to our list of places you're taking me when I come back.
Okay, what is that?
Hot dog on a stick. Are
they even still around?
I haven't been back home in years. You're gonna have to tell me.
They're only in the mall, but you know what? When I was a kid, that was actually one of my favorite things. When we go to the mall, I would have to go to hot dog on a stick. It was so good, so bad, so fatty. So we're talking about your cholesterol right now. A couple minutes ago, like no, that is going to be the worst thing ever for you. But I can see my doctor texting me right now. In addition to it being so bad for you, being so fatty, it's so expensive. Like last time I went there, like I was maybe maybe 2 years ago. I don't even remember the last time that I went and had hot dog on the stick. But yeah, I want to say it was like $15, and I got like one or two. Like I got a cheese sticks, and fries and a lemonade, and it was like $15. Yeah. I got like it wouldn't be considered vegan. What's that? Vegetarian, because it was cheese.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, how are you about this vegan craze? Are you doing anything vegan? Because everyone's going plant-based now.
Hey, you know what we did eat the other day, which I really enjoyed. Surprisingly, they were vegan mini corn dogs. But they didn't have any more last time we were at the store, so we had to get chicken mini corn dogs. But
so you didn't order these? I thought you ordered these.
Oh no, like these were like picked up at the store before. But yeah, I mean, it's just warm snacks, because getting cold snacks delivered kind of scares me, because it's like, oh, what if it takes too long, or what if, I don't know. But
so, well, speaking of you being in quarantine,
yes,
do we have any updates on that?
Yes, we do. So after our last show,
hold on. I always have to tell you, I love how you're prepared. My famed boss at I won't say the show, I'll just say Paramount. She would be proud, because I taught you well, because that's how she taught me. And I love how you are always prepared.
So we didn't have a show yesterday, so it was Wednesday. Right after we actually finished recording, I had missed a phone call while we were on the air, and I was listening to my voicemail, and while I was listening to that voicemail, I received another phone call, and it was from the hospital. And it was a nurse, and she was talking to me, and she was asking me if, anyone had called me and blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, yeah, I got a missed call, but I was listening to the voicemail right when you called me. And she pretty much told me my
hold on.
test results.
I want to put this, hold on. We're just going to put you solo, because this is so important. There you go.
This is so important. Where did you go?
Yeah, no, I'm here. You can see me down behind backstage, but I want this to just be on you as you tell us. This is the Freddy Show interview with special guest Fernando. You've heard the news. You've heard the story. Now have the actual update tonight on Fernando and Freddy.
All right. So nurse calls me.
2, 1, go.
And I'm live. So the nurse actually called me, and she had said, oh, have you talked to the doctor? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, I had a message. I was listening to it when you just called me. And she was like, okay, well, your test results came back positive. And I'm like, wow, okay. I kind of thought so, but at the same time, I was almost unexpected, almost unexpecting of that. I mean, that would already had been Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days in since I had my, first real symptom. And I got actually, like, my heart kind of sank a little bit, and it was kind of a scary moment, just thinking like, wow, I just tested positive for this. Like, well, what's going to happen next? Like, what symptoms am I going to get that I, haven't already experienced? Like, am I going to end up like those people that I just watched on, YouTube? So,
wait, did I know you can't see me, but you can hear me. Did they say that you could get worse, or that you needed to be careful of anything?
I can't see you, for one. But they don't.
Oh, yeah.
No, like when I had told friends and family, everyone's like, oh, okay, well, they give you medicine, this and that. There's no medicine. They don't have medicine to give me. So, I mean, pretty much quarantine, so I'm isolated for, 14 days by myself, at home. But no, I'm not by myself, but here at home, there's 2 of us isolated. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my medicine. And am I going to get worse? I don't know. Luckily, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I got to count, 2 days since I got, the diagnosis, almost, a week since I've had my first symptom, 6 days in. Luckily, it's not getting worse. So what's that?
Yeah, but I would imagine, after you're like those people who've been walking around who have no symptoms besides a very mild one. So, I mean, at least in that way, that's how imagine if you didn't know that losing your sense of taste meant that you had it. You would have never gotten tested. You would have just went around, carried out your life, went out to dinner, saw your friends, or, I mean, if you weren't in quarantine, but, yeah, it's pretty hectic.
Right. Yeah, it is. And it is scary, and there is uncertainty. Oh, hey, Freddy.
Hey there,
but one of, like you said, one of the big things was loss of smell. Loss of smell was my only symptom. Yes, I had a small cough. Yes, I had a couple of sneezes, but they kept saying, oh, sneezing isn't a symptom of the coronavirus, of the COVID-19.
So it's coughing.
They said coughing, did I have a fever? No, I never once had a fever. Not before, not leading up to, not once I got my first symptom, not 6 days in. I still haven't had a fever, I had light headaches.
Are you checking?
Yeah, I have been. I have a thermometer. Okay. Light headaches, but that's typical for me. I go to the chiropractor once a week because of chronic headaches.
Hold on. The chiropractor
What's that?
Cures you of headaches?
Yeah, because it's like realignment, and I, get tension in my shoulders and my neck, and I don't know exactly what it is, but going to the chiropractor, it really, really, really helps. So, me, I tend to get headaches. That wasn't out of the norm for me. At work, people always make fun of me because I sneeze every day. I sneeze at least twice. I have a light cough constantly. I mean, that's not out of the norm for me. So for me to sneeze, for me to cough, for me to have a headache, those are daily symptoms for me, but I haven't had a headache, every now and then I'll, get this or that, but it's nothing insane, nothing crazy, but I haven't really had much of a cough. So my only symptom that I experienced on Saturday was my loss of smell. And, like I had previously told you, Monday, I had made my phone appointment. Well, let's take a step back. So Saturday is when I realized that I had lost my sense of smell while, making dinner, and was just like, can I not smell? Is that my smell a little off? It might be a little TMI, but when I blew my nose, my snot was yellow. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe I have a sinus infection, maybe that's what it is. But was kind of walking around the kitchen, smelling different things, and kind of realized, okay, you know what? I really did lose my sense of smell. So ate dinner, couldn't really taste it, had some tortilla soup, and I was really looking forward to it. I had got this recipe about a week before, and when it was time to eat, there wasn't much flavor to it. And I was like, dang, I did lose my sense of taste and smell. Googled it. We were kind of looking around on Google. There was a couple of no name, not big name articles or anything like that. Just some random posts. And I was like, these are just kind of like, when you're in line at the grocery store here in the US at least, and you see these articles, in these like thin paper magazines, and you're like, okay, yeah, like what is it, like the Inquirer, or those just articles that get sued all the time for, publishing false information. Wow. Okay. Yellow snot is not. Okay.
That was my clickbait headline.
Dang. So no, let me continue this because this is important.
Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Had looked those up, nothing. There was nothing on there that had even led to believe that it was going to be a symptom. So Monday rolls around, not thinking anything, thinking twice about it, not really thinking much. Monday rolls around, and we see all over the internet new symptom, loss of smell, loss of taste, new symptom of the coronavirus. The only symptoms some, may experience. And we're like, oh, wow. So I went online. I generated a phone appointment with a doctor. I have Kaiser. So an hour later, I get a phone call, and it was a doctor at Kaiser who was talking to me about what I was experiencing. And she's like, you know what? It just kind of sounds to me like you either have allergies or, like a simple cold. And I was like, okay. She's like, so it's up to you. But if you would like to stay out of work, I'll give you a note, 3 or 4 days. She didn't mandate me to stay home, didn't say you have to stay home, said it was up to me. And I think that might have been because like sick time usage, calling out of work, like, do you really want to use 4 days of sick time?
Yeah.
So she didn't say that I had to stay home, nothing like that. I did call out of work that day. Next day comes up and I was like, okay, I'm going to call the doctor again. So I called Kaiser again. I didn't call. I scheduled an appointment online, and I just picked a random doctor that had an availability the closest time to the time that it was that I was calling. And about an hour and a half later, she calls me and we were talking, and I explained my symptoms, and I was like, you know what? This is the same symptoms that I had yesterday. This is what happened on my phone appointment. What do you think? I mean, have you heard about this, new symptom that I'm reading about online? She's like, yeah, I was reading about it and I heard about it. She was like, so pretty much what we want you to do is just stay home for 14 days. Just, quarantine. What's that?
I got a random question. If you do know it, what is your blood type? I saw this article saying about type A was more susceptible to coronavirus, and this is why type A is more prevalent in Europe and the US, and this is why the illness has been more severe in those regions of the world compared to China, which was actually pretty interesting. So I was just like, wait a minute, because we didn't hear about this in China, people losing their sense of smell and taste.
Right. But at the same time, maybe they didn't associate it because we didn't know about it until pretty much it being a main symptom until Monday. So, 4 days ago. So, long story short, they didn't want to test me. What's that?
Yeah.
What were you?
I was just thinking. Did she say you could catch it twice? Did you ask that question?
They don't know. They don't know yet. So they didn't want to test me. They said that I really wasn't eligible because I wasn't sick. I wasn't experiencing all of these symptoms. And they wanted to save the tests for people who were hospitalized, who they, wanted to confirm. So at the end of the day, they ended up talking to a specialist who then, because of my job and, where I work and what I do, went out and said, come on in, we're going to get you tested.
Hold on. Is it because you are a model and a YouTuber that you can be tested?
Wow. Okay. Anyways. So
look at us. Give us that model smile.
Stop it. So end up going in, get tested. That was our first episode, what we discussed, and our little teaser video that we had put out there. 12 inches in my nose. We talk about getting tested and how that experience went. 12 inches in my nose.
I didn't say how big it was. I said, where was it?
My nose.
How big was it?
Okay. So you can watch that first video that we posted.
Splice that together later.
Get the information for it. But so I kind of do, want to stress that is the only symptom that I have is my loss of smell, and people experiencing that loss of smell, is that necessarily the coronavirus? Because you have a loss of smell, are you positive with the coronavirus? Like, what should you do? Should you call your doctor? Yes, you should call your doctor. Should you self-quarantine? Yes, you should self-quarantine. And people are saying, well, that's the only symptom. Like, oh, do you really have it? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to tell you, like, my phone has been blowing up. Like, I see that, Freddy. People at work.
I want people to watch the video.
Right. So people at work, like, not knowing who has it because work hasn't released it. I work in an organization and we have a lot of employees and we're a 24-hour operation, and so work pretty much just released that somebody there did test positive for the coronavirus. They didn't say who, they didn't, give any information about it, but people are guessing, and they're kind of crossing names off saying, okay, well, this person's been at work, this person hasn't. And people have been texting me, asking questions. And, I've had yesterday alone, probably about 5 or 6 people message me on Instagram from work. Go ahead.
Isn't that illegal though? They don't have a right to speculate who has something, and that's going beyond what is necessary to.
I think that I think the illegal part, and is covered by HIPAA, would be through who I've told, management wise. So I know management can't go out and say, oh yeah, this person, tested positive for it, because then they're giving my business to other people, or giving my health or my, you know what I mean? Like my health history,
your
which
privacy.
they cannot do. But But I don't think that people speculating, is it this person or is it this person? I think that's just gossip. And I think it's bad, because they're, I've heard through the grapevine and through other people, that, we think it's this person, or we think it's this person. Well, now you're just spreading rumors, because it's not that person, and it's not that person. It's me, but
surely that has to be something human resources should be made aware of, because it sounds like being a tattletale or whatever, but I if it was me, no, I would have quashed that. I would have forwarded those messages straight away and been like, here we go. I think you need to go in there. We need to stop these work announcement that someone says it, because that's not necessary. We don't need speculation. We don't need to cause panic in the workplace. And this is just making a disruptive environment for everyone, because now everyone's paranoid about who's sick and who's not. This is just saying how important it is to stay home if you have it. It's just that simple. It's not like someone is spreading it on purpose or...
But at the same time, I do understand, and I do know the need for telling people at work that, somebody at your workplace was, infected with the virus. It does have it. Because if you don't tell them now and they find out later, they're going to freak out. Be like, oh my gosh, you hid this from us, or, oh, you didn't tell us. Why didn't you tell us? We could have taken precautions. So at the same time,
the problem is it's not necessarily. It could be anywhere you could get it. You'd have to be pretty dense if you thought it was only at work where I can get it. No, you can go, like we were saying earlier, the grocery store, the fast food restaurant, the park. You can literally. It's so highly contagious. It's not just being at work. It could be anywhere.
Right. But I think that people kind of feel a little sense of safety at work, especially if they're keeping their social distancing. They're keeping their 6 feet away from people. They're, using some sort of like a Clorox or a Purell wipe to clean their areas, and just kind of make sure that they, aren't coming into contact with something that they don't have to. So I do understand why work, needs to tell people, and, why people have that right to know. But what
they don't have the right to know.
No, they have the right to know that somebody's there.
Idea because they have a right to know that someone has contracted it, but it's not necessarily that you contracted it there or that you spread it there. So let's not let people think that they're entitled to have anyone's health information or anything like that, because that's a big no for me. Even with my own health, I don't like when people are like, hey, what happened with this? What happened with that? It's like, excuse me, like, are you my doctor? No. Let's leave it right there. Let's not discuss me or what's going on in my life, or we're all entitled to a sense of privacy when it comes to things like that.
Yeah. So that is kind of something, too, that just the people that were inquiring, and I did get people messaging me, asking me if it is me, and I had also received additional messages of people pretty much offering support, saying, oh, get some rest, or, oh, I hope you are going to get better, or, things like that. I don't remember exactly what they said, but it was kind of along the lines of, I know that it's you, get better. But I also feel
how did they know it was you?
Well, I feel that is it calling your bluff, or I don't know exactly what the terminology is for that, but where they're like, they're kind of just acting like they know, so that way they can say it, and waiting for me to respond back, oh, thank you very much, I appreciate your support, or this or that, so they can be like, oh yeah, I gotcha, I knew it was you. Now they have their proof, right?
Yeah.
So I just saw the notification on my phone. I haven't even opened these messages. There's so many of them on there, and it's kind of a little scary kind of to think about too, that, everybody is wondering, oh, is everyone, going to know? Everybody at work. I work for a very large organization where, there's a lot of gossip and stuff does spread fast. So once people do start finding out and everyone starts talking about it, when I come back to work in 14 days, come on, I'm off for 14 days. People are going to know. Okay. Oh, who was out for 2 weeks?
Well, it's not going to be only you. We already know that.
Right. It's got to be more people.
Yeah.
But let me go back to this too, with our header here, loss of smell. Am I the only person who had that loss of smell at work? I mean, were there other people possibly who were experiencing that same thing and had no idea that it was a symptom? Because let's be frank, when you Google it or if you talk to a doctor, they didn't understand that was a symptom up until, Monday. Monday was the day that the US said this is a new symptom, so until Monday.
I actually saw it on Red Table Talks, on Red Table Talks on Jada Pinkett Smith's show, and she had a guest on there who said that in her age group that a lot of people had lost their sense of taste and smell, but I didn't hear that anywhere else. And then when you messaged me, it must have been like a week later, that's when I told you, and I said, oh yeah, I already saw that, but I hadn't seen that anywhere else but her show. No one else mentioned it. I had some other friends and around Europe who told me that they too had lost their sense of smell and taste. So I said, wait a minute, do you have it then? They said, yeah. So it's like, okay.
Right.
So yes, I wonder if it's an age thing. I don't know.
But this Red Table Talks or whatever it was that you were saying, how old were they or what were their age group in that?
I don't know. I didn't see how old she was, but she was on the younger side. She must have been the same age as you.
Right. So I don't know. I really don't know. But then I do have to wonder, though, having this being a symptom, that wasn't widely publicized, that, maybe a small group knew about or, a small group had talked about, people that were experiencing this as their only symptom, were they continuing their regular lives? Like, do people at my work, did they have this symptom, come to work not knowing that they, had the coronavirus, or, not want to come out or not want that stigma of being the first, or not wanting everyone to know, or what's that?
I think it must have been the same, because if like you said that, it was, you don't have any other symptoms besides that. Had you not known that was a symptom, you'd be at work right now.
Right.
So there probably is someone at work now.
Right. And, if I wouldn't have really done my, investigating on Saturday, being like, oh my gosh, like I lost my smell. What is this?
Hold on.
Going around.
On. I want you to say my due diligence.
My due diligence.
Thank you.
But I mean, if I wouldn't have gone around, smelling things and whatnot, maybe I wouldn't have been like, oh, wow, I really lost my sense of smell. This is kind of really weird. I'm going to look into this even further. And, what if the next day, what if I would have gone to work, or on Monday? What if I would have gone to work on Monday, which, I didn't. But I mean, what if I did? So I almost did. Yes. Right. Because the doctor told me if I want to stay home, you can stay home. One of the big things that is going around right now is that if you are sick, stay home. So, I mean, if you have any symptoms, whatsoever, stay home. If you have a cough or if you have a sneeze, stay home. And the reason they say that is because if you don't have any symptoms, you don't think that you have it. Well, if you're coughing or if you're sneezing, you're spreading that virus. If you sneeze, you try to catch it. But if one little drop goes somewhere else, well, the virus could be on that drop. The virus could be on that cough. So you could be putting it on other surfaces, putting it on your hands and touching something or picking up something, opening a car door, opening a door to the bathroom, paper towel dispenser or sink or anything. So that's why they say, if you're sick, stay home. What's that?
Well, I wanted to say that I can hope that for the future that this can change our work culture in the US, that we are humans, we do get sick, and we should always stay home when we are sick. We should not be working when we're sick, but for our culture, it's always seen as being a hard worker, like you came in even when you were sick. And now we can see that the case is that's not the case. I mean, you possibly could be spreading viruses and putting people at risk. So I hope that for the future going forward, that because of this virus, that we can change that.
Right. Well, and I will say too that like in the past, so growing up, I had worked retail. I had worked retail management, and in both parts of it, where is if you're sick, you come to work unless you really can't, because
Yeah.
if you call out sick, they're not going to call somebody else in most of the time, at least in the places that I worked. We didn't have a large enough pool of people who would just get up and be able to come in. Maybe you can call, one or two people and see if they would come in, but typically they would say no, they didn't want to come in on their day off. So if you called out sick, you were leaving. Right. I mean, depending, sometimes you would, if you were full time or whatnot, but
rarely.
I remember being told, oh, can you come in? Or, oh, can't you just come in for a little while? Oh, can you come in for 2 hours at the end to, help close up or this or that? And even being, in management, when people called out, I was like, oh man, what am I going to do? Oh, I only have one person working in this area tonight. This person just called out. Well, I'm going to try to call, maybe one or two people and see if they can come in. And I would be, please come in, please, please, please. But
yeah.
So that is tough too. And like you were saying, that if you aren't full time and you're only part time, I don't know what the laws are now, but a lot of times there weren't sick benefits.
I don't think they've changed.
So it can be rough. But even being now with work, I have a lot of sick time, which is extremely nice. And if I need to use it, I can. But like we were talking about previously, auditing sick time, and where, if you miss so many days and they look at you and, you can get marked down on a review for, your work performance or accountability because you're not coming to work consistently. Well, now, like you said, how is that going to be? And is it going to be a change? Because if you're sick, stay home. Is that going to be the new model going forward? If you have a sneeze, don't come to work?
Well, I think they should do what they do in other countries, which is require you to get a doctor's note. And like Chipotle said that they were going to do that from now on. When their employees call out, they will send someone to have an excusable illness. And as such, then they would send, and I believe it's at no cost to the employee. They just don't want it because, they've had problems before where someone came to work sick and it closed down half the nation's Chipotles because this person, I forgot if it was the person in the factory or something. But just like any type of illness that can spread, especially if it's foodborne, and someone coming now with corona coughing on all of the food that's going into the salad bar, I mean, it spreads quickly. It just makes sense that we have some type of system where a nurse could come and verify that yes, you are sick. I'll give you 3 days because this is the type of sickness. Or if you're really sick, I give you 2 weeks or however long you need. And maybe even able to advise treatment or additional test. And it would just be better for business for everyone as a whole. And if you're not sick, well, guess what? Now you've got a markup.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes, and going forward, how different companies and different organizations handle that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
But there was something else that I did want to talk about too, which is the lack of testing. I'm going to put you back on my screen because we're equal over here. So now that my story is done and told, one of the big things too is the lack of testing. A lot of the areas, welcome back. A lot of the areas, countries, cities, states, whatever, they don't have a lot of the testing. It was difficult for me to get the testing. But what I, did want to kind of talk about too is that, like I said, it was difficult for me to get the testing, but my mom and my grandma, they, were in contact with me, and they're not able to get the testing because they don't have any symptoms. So, with our numbers that we're saying, oh, we have this many cases. Well, I'm wondering, is it only because we're testing the positive people too, or people that we presume to be positive, but
I don't
we're
even
not
think
testing?
that. It's like you said, they're only testing people who require hospitalization. So that just shows you how much higher the numbers must be if they're refusing to test people who don't need hospitalization.
Right. But and originally for me, like, since I don't have breathing issues, I don't have a fever, they were saying that I didn't qualify for the testing. Tested or not tested, I feel like I had it, with my symptoms. It's not like they have a medication or a medicine that they can give me for it. So them telling me stay home for 14 days or test me and then say stay home for 14 days, it doesn't change anything. I'm quarantined, I'm away from people, and that's pretty much my medicine. But it's not like, my mom and my grandma, who are staying home anyways, who were exposed to me, if they got that test, which they can't, but if they were to get it right now, having no symptoms, what would a positive result even say? Just be careful, watch out for oncoming symptoms. Like, they could be symptom free. And I guess that's what's kind of scary to think about too, is that, what if it is coming on to them? But
yeah. Well, but if it does happen, it's obviously not your fault. I mean, it is just as any other illness or sickness that spreads. It's just something that happens, and it's a part of being human. But it is the sad part is that they can't find out whether they are or aren't, and if they are, and should require any hospitalization, that they be able to get into there before they can deteriorate anymore. It's
and something that another article that I had seen on YouTube, and that I then read about last night, which was pretty interesting, and it was Iceland. So Iceland has tested more people per capita than any other country in the world. So Iceland's population is 364,000, right? A little more than that, 260, right? But so we're going to say 364,000. Right. It is. I was looking at pictures and I was like, wow, this would be a really pretty place to visit. But
we should visit there. We totally should. Can you imagine? We can go to the hot springs there, the mud springs.
We could do a broadcast from there.
And on location.
Like, Iceland on location, right?
I am down.
So Iceland was testing pretty much everybody. They had some private lab or a rich person over there or something that was helping them. So Iceland was testing people with no symptoms, and their results. Okay, so 1,800 tests were administered to people who were not symptomatic. So 1,800 tests were given to people with 0 symptoms, right? Of those tests, 19 people tested positive. This is as of Monday, right? But 19 people, so 1% of the population that had no symptoms were positive. So 1,800 people, no symptoms, 19 people tested positive. So it's kind of crazy to think like, wow, look at all these people that had 0 symptoms, but were still carrying this virus. So that's just kind of crazy, scary, shocking, to kind of think about.
It's scary, but then it also at the same time, to the shoe on the other foot, is that it isn't as deadly as we're so scared of it being, but it can be. It can take a turn for the worse depending on your health and the underlying conditions, which I still want to know more about, because I mean, is high cholesterol one of them? You know what I mean? Like, literally, that's the way I think. I'm like, I always try to make it about me if I'm going to be sick or something. Like, I get worried about that. Like, what if it is? What?
I think like the big underlying conditions are things that really affect your health. And I know diabetes was listed on there too as, one of the big ones, but things that really like compromise your immune system, types of things like that. And I think that's what, really some of the underlying conditions are, like, cancer, you're doing chemo, so, but
yeah, no, I'm just thinking, because like those people right now are, probably really begging for people to stay home. They're, they've survived cancer, and they're, or that haven't, well, maybe they have, but depending on where they are in their treatment, and their immune systems are weakened, and to have someone coming around possibly who could expose them must be just fearful.
Yeah, definitely. And especially because they're afraid that, I just beat this disease, am I going to catch this other one? Now, I was also reading in the small northern Italian town of V-O, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, one of the communities where the outbreak first emerged, the entire population of 3,300 people were tested. 3% of the residents tested positive, and of these, the majority had no symptoms. So I just think that it's kind of scary to think that, we're thinking, okay, we're only going to quarantine the people that are having these symptoms. We're only going to quarantine the people that are sick. But if such even if they're low numbers of people that are infected, have zero symptoms, these people are thinking, okay, well, I don't need to worry about spreading it. I need to protect myself from getting it. So they're not thinking about if they cough or if they sneeze, or, if their hands are dirty and they touch like a shopping cart or pick something up at the grocery store and put it back. They're thinking, I'm not going to pass on something to somebody because I don't have it. I have to be more concerned about me getting it. Touching. I'm sure you've seen on this. I'm just notorious. I keep touching my face, my eye itches, my nose itches, or this or that.
I do the same thing. I mean, you see me, I'm constantly like this, and
right. So, that's a big thing that we need to look at too. What's that?
When I was in the hospital today, I was like a little kid. I literally crossed my hands and put them in my lap, and it's like, I'm not touching anything. I was a little upset because I was wearing a mask, and when he was looking into my eyes, he put his hands on my chin, and I was just like, oh, I didn't see you wash your hands.
He wasn't wearing gloves.
No, he wasn't.
Ooh.
And I was just like, he was wearing a mask, but he wasn't wearing gloves.
I'm sure he washed his hands, and I'm sure everything has been sanitized very well there, and I'm sure it's constantly being cleaned and sanitized.
Well, I'm sure, but I mean, you know what I mean? Just for peace of mind, you want to see that
definitely.
hand washed, because I when I was there, when this was just breaking, it hadn't really, it had spread in France, but it wasn't like it was now. I think it was still in the hundreds, and I had to get blood drawn, and the nurse didn't wash her hands. She just put the alcohol gel on. She rubbed it. She did it again. She rubbed it. And then I kind of was like looking at it, and I was thinking to myself, there was a bathroom right behind her that she could have actually washed her hands in, but instead she used the alcohol gel. But I mean, I didn't say anything, but it did strike me as like, why didn't she wash her hands? I don't know. I prefer people to wash their hands.
Now, did she not wear gloves?
No, she wasn't.
She didn't put gloves on when she took your blood. That's just weird for me. Like when I think about it, because here in the United States, like anytime we go to a doctor, like we get our blood taken, anything like that, they're always wearing gloves. And I think it's mainly, I always thought it was to protect themselves.
Well, sometimes they do, but I want to say that generally here, I haven't seen them always wear gloves.
Maybe they're running low on them.
Yeah. No, because this is what I mean. And when I'm saying I haven't seen them, I'm talking about in the past before all of this has happened. No, I mean, it's just like, but it's the same thing about wearing masks. I've never seen anyone wear masks.
Yeah, I think that's more like in
Asian
certain
cultures.
areas, like, yeah, but usually, so this is something that I had heard about, like the Asian culture too, is that the mask isn't worn to protect them from you. The mask is to help protect you from them. So a lot of the times, Asian cultures, well, if they're sick or they're not feeling the best, they'll wear a mask so they don't spread whatever germs they have. So, and a lot of times people are like, oh, weirdo, like what you wearing a mask for? But they're wearing the mask really to protect everybody from them. And I thought that was incredible. Yeah. Like when I learned that, I was like, wow, okay.
But, like I said, I wonder how it's going to change at home. Are people going to start wearing masks? Or, I don't think it's going to change society as people being nicer or kinder to each other. No, I don't think that. But do I think that people will be much more aware of spreading viruses, bacterias, keeping things clean? I think people will become a bit more aware of that and not, not want people around them sniffling and coughing or sneezing, because they said that they're trying to study now to see in the Southern Hemisphere how this does with them going into winter and then coming back out into spring and summer again, to just give us a heads up if this is going to be a reoccurring thing for us worldwide or not.
Right. And I think that it is. That's what they were talking about today on the news earlier this morning, that it's going to kind of just be like the regular flu. It's going to, come back every year.
Yeah. I think you're right. It's just, I don't really know if it. Well, I don't know. I just think about how as a whole how what will change going forward, because if you ever, I was reading a few days ago. I like to read there's a website that I go onto that has global Twitter trending topics. So literally you can go to the country, you can go to the state, the city, province. I mean, you could really zoom down into wherever it is and find out what people are talking about on Twitter, whatever the top 10 are in that area. And one of
like
the ones the other day was, just the hashtags or the keywords that are popping up in the tweets in that area or as a whole. And so one of the ones the other day was, I'm not willing to die for Wall Street. Because the whole thing is they want the U.S. to go back to do better right now because we're losing money and the economy's suffering, and people are like, my health is more important than your portfolio.
Right.
And I thought that was really
I don't want to die for Wall Street.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah, it was like I'm not dying for Wall Street.
Interesting. I had heard stuff like that too, and different things like people being interviewed and stuff on YouTube. I didn't read it on Twitter. Actually, I rarely ever use Twitter, but
I don't ever use Twitter, but I do like to read the top Twitter trends for whatever country I decide to look into or area, just to see what's going on in the world. It's a really good, because you can literally break it. Like it has a whole list of countries. It has all over the world, and you can click on the country, click on the city, and it'll show you what's going up there. I can literally here. I'll do it right now. Let's see. Should I do Los Angeles, Long Beach?
Yeah, do Los Angeles.
What else is there? Los Angeles. Okay.
What is this called?
Let's see. Okay.
This is trending tweets.
This is called no, the website is called trends24.in.
So
it's just a great research tool for me.
Like trending, it's just trending hashtags,
tweets, hashtags, and
trending
tweets.
Topics.
Okay, so let's see. For the last 2 hours, let's see. Doris, Corona lockdown, Cash App Friday, Killing Eve, Flashback Friday, Blessing to Have Jackson, Messi, John Kerry, Lordstown, and Reggie Bush. And literally in the last 58 minutes, it's been Bad Bunny, Corona lockdown, Doris, rent relief. Oh, which a lot of people are talking about is them not. There's no rent relief right now. People are only getting their 1,200 checks, but your rent is still due. Apparently, everyone thought it was going to be like they're doing in other countries where rent and utilities were suspended, but not in the good old US of A. So a lot of people are panicking because they're not working, and 1,200 will not even cover rent in California.
Right.
Anywhere. I would be surprised if you've got rent for 1,200 anywhere in California. Let me know.
You want to move there?
Well, when have you ever seen rent that low?
It depends on what
I've never seen rent that low.
Well, I mean, I've seen actually some really good deals, but it depends. Like, if you're looking for like a studio or a 1-bedroom, and then what area are you looking in, and do you have bars on your windows?
Yeah, but even then, I want to say even let's just use Southern California as an example. Nowhere in Orange County will you find that.
Oh no,
not even if you.
I mean, maybe renting a room.
I should say if you rent a if you rent a room, but even a studio, you'll never find that. Nowhere in the LA area will you find a studio for 1,200.
Yeah, I think rent definitely has
maybe in the
up.
Valley. But like far valley, like you're not going to be able to commute.
The valley is expensive too, though. I looked in the valley for a little while.
When I was saying valley, I was thinking to myself like Lancaster, like out in the desert, like far over there.
High desert. Yeah. Okay. So,
high desert.
One of the other topics too that I did want to discuss today, and the reason I'm wearing this shirt today, my Amsterdam shirt, canceled vacations. Freddy, so I have a vacation coming up.
I know you're supposed to come stay
September.
With me, and now,
and you know what? We haven't officially canceled it yet. But here's the thing: I didn't buy my plane ticket yet. So my friends who I was traveling with already all bought their plane tickets. One of my good friends bought his in November, and he got a really good deal. And I was going to buy it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait. What, And then sure enough, they went up by a couple $100. And I was like, oh man. So looking at Google Trends, I was like, all right, it looks like it's going to go down. So I waited to buy it, and then it did go down. And then I was like debating on getting it, but it was right in the same time as all this happening. And I was like, well, do you guys think I should get my plane ticket? Because everything happening, I'm like, okay, why don't you wait? And we already had booked some of our Airbnbs, for half of the trip. And, we were looking into getting them canceled and seeing what, options we had. And it looks like we can cancel them. So I don't know. I think we're going to end up canceling this trip. And I'm going to miss out on Amsterdam.
When was the trip scheduled for? September?
September 27th to October 11th.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen because they're already saying most of these quarantines are only going to be ending this summer, they think, if everything goes well. Because if we look at China took about 4 months to get to zero or close to zero. So I know we're doing, a lot of places are doing 2-week quarantine, but that doesn't mean it's going to just, continue to spread it and affect everywhere. But I was thinking that the prices would be much cheaper just because, ironically, the other night I was thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, maybe now is the time to go home because it's probably super cheap to fly right now.
Right. Well, so this is the problem that I've been seeing too, though, is that airlines are reducing their routes. And when they're doing that, they are changing or canceling flights, right? So they're going to have less frequency.
Yeah.
And 2, they are like dropping the load. So they're, if normally they could hold 100 people on a flight, they're dropping it down to, 50 or 75 people. And that's pretty much to encourage the social distancing. So that way they can have extra seats here or there. So they don't have everyone sitting on top of each other. So flights are, the amount of seats that they are selling on a flight are dropping. And the flights that they have normally, for example, I don't know this, but what if they have, Paris to LAX, and maybe an airline will run, 3 flights in a day, or, however many flights they're going to do. Well, they're going to drop it because they're not filling up these flights. So, they might drop it down to 1 flight a day rather than, 3 or 4.
Ironically, I'll tell you right now, I'm already looking at them right now. Normally, this time of year, when I'm looking at flights to go home, they've always been about 1,200 euros. They've always been like some of the most expensive flights is this time of year because it's cold here and it's, literally LA winter is French summer in the northern areas, not on the coast. But similar. And here right now, I see a Norwegian Airways flight, nonstop LA to Paris or Paris to LA. 321 euros. That's not bad.
Wow.
It's about like $350.
So that's usually
1,200.
It's more expensive per way, or is that the ticket you're looking at round trip right now?
Both. I mean, the cheapest flight here is an American Airlines flight for 863 euros. But I wonder what class these are.
I don't know. But so that's cheap then. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's super cheap right now. But where are you going to stay? Everything's closed.
Well, hotels are open, but at the same time, are you going to be forced quarantined? Like what? Well, I don't even know what the flight procedures are right now. Like if you fly into LAX from London, what are they going to do?
You will be. Well, London is a different case. I'm sure if you are on the continent and the rest of Europe, then you will probably more than likely be under a mandatory 2-week quarantine. They're not going to want you traveling around and possibly spreading virus around to a quarantined area. And because here right now we're under mandatory quarantine. They're not even allowing people to go to their vacation homes because if you live in the city and you might have a house in the countryside or in the mountains or on the beach somewhere, you might be thinking, well, I'd rather pass my 2 weeks there than some apartment in a crowded city that's much smaller. The apartments are pretty small in Paris, even the big ones. So you prefer maybe to do that. And they were putting police outside in train stations to stop people from going to their vacation homes because they said that they might spread the virus in the rural areas where they have less resources to deal with them. So you couldn't leave the city.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing too, is that, we were, talking about going to Hawaii. So originally I had April, like what, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever. I had 4 days off, whatever weekend that was, maybe the 3rd to the 6th. And I was going to do an event that weekend, and it got canceled. It was in Las Vegas. And so we were talking about, like, well, what are we going to do? Like, even before it got canceled, we were discussing, well, if it gets canceled, what are we going to do? So we looked at Hawaii, and there was some pretty incredible deals, for a hotel that was, you had an ocean view. I mean, it was about a block or two from, the beach, and it was in Honolulu. Round trip airfare for 2 people, 3 nights. We're looking at about $400 a person, so we're looking at, well, like $800 or $900, and they were decent hotels. They weren't anything super nice, but I mean, hello, you have an ocean view. How, it's got to be somewhat decent.
It's Hawaii. What do you need?
So we were actually thinking about that, and debating if we wanted to do that. And I'm really glad we didn't book that trip. And I looked at it every single day. I was like, all right, it's going to go down. It's probably going to go down. It's going to go down. Come on, go down. But they didn't go down. I think when they kind of started to announce that people were going to be, quarantined for, 14 days, people are going to be working from home, this and that. I think people were like, well, I'm going to be working from home, so I'm going to be working from Hawaii. And people started booking because the price started to go up and up and up. And what I also was
from Hawaii,
right? What's stopping you? If you can work remote, why not work from the beach? You have a hotspot on your phone, bring your laptop, or work from your hotel room where you can look out at the ocean and take your lunch break and go to the beach. But that's
not a bad idea,
right? But get this, so Hawaii just announced that if you're flying into Hawaii, you're mandatory will be quarantined for 14 days. So you will be quarantined once you land for 2 weeks. And that's not saying, like,
tourism.
Yeah, killed it. But at the same time, they don't want you going there because they don't have, the healthcare system for a lot of people, I mean, this was Honolulu, and, if a lot of people are going there, and I mean, that's like a big city, on an island, and they don't, want to have to deal with that. So I totally understand where they're coming from, but, these deals are kind of, they were incredible deals.
I know. I had mentioned to friends before when this was all starting that I'm usually one of those people who I'm like a disaster tourist. I haven't done it, but in my head, I'm always like, there was an attack here or there was an explosion or something. Well, now is the time to go visit that area, because what's the likelihood of it happening again? And everyone's going to cancel all of their hotels. So I'll be staying in a 5-star, living it up for a quarter of the price.
Right.
Because no one is going there. When something big happens, people don't want to go there. They cancel everything. But at the same time, all those places still have people who need to eat, people who still need to go to work. You know what I mean? So in a way, if you do it, people are thankful because they're like, you're helping keep food on my table and my kids can go to school and everything. So it's a bit morbid at the same time, but I'm just like, safety wise, I think it's actually kind of better, because what's the likelihood of something bad happening twice?
So about 2 weeks ago, when all of this was really hitting the fan, and all the cruise ships were pretty much stopping all of their cruises and stuff, there was one cruise ship in Long Beach that was leaving, and it was a Carnival Cruise Line, and people were getting on the boat as they were preparing to leave. Like, they were like rushing out of port, and we heard that they were just like selling last minute tickets for like $100 a person. Just come on, get on, $100, just trying to get people on that boat. And I just can't help but wonder how many people actually got onto that boat, and also were they able to get off of that boat? So that would be something interesting.
Isn't that the one that was stuck out? They were stuck out to sea for a few days because people were coming down with the virus on the boat.
This was recent. I mean, this was like week and a half ago, 2 weeks, probably a week and a half ago. But there was another article that we were looking at that was saying that there was somewhat like 30 cruise ships that were in the ocean still that weren't able to, dock, because no country or city or port wanted to allow this cruise ship to dock there and have all these people get off their boat there, with unknown amounts of people infected. So could you imagine that, going on a cruise and getting stuck on the boat?
Infected?
Well, they don't know if they were
zombie
infected.
Cruise?
right?
Well, I had some friends, ironically, who were going on their honeymoon a few weeks ago, and the day before, yeah, almost 2 weeks ago, it was the day before they announced the quarantine here. They were stuck in Abu Dhabi, and they had called ahead. They said yes, no, the cruise is still going on. Get there to Abu Dhabi. They flew in, and then the day, I think it was day of or day before, like the night before, they were just like, oh, in fact, no, the cruise is off. So I'm like,
Oh,
can
that
you imagine
sucks.
you go all that way on your honeymoon? And I almost, it was the same thing like you was traveling with your friends. I almost booked to go with them.
Imagine.
Because I mean, I wouldn't be in their room. I mean, I was like, it's your honeymoon, how fun. I mean, it's 2 weeks long. We could all be together and go do all these cool things. Because it was a great deal too. And it was visiting all these places that I wanted to visit in the Middle East, and then going up into Europe, and going up into Europe, and then coming over and finishing in Italy. And I was like, how perfect. And then we can spend like a week in Rome, and it just would have been cool. It was a 3-week cruise already, and then plus a
Ooh.
week in Rome. So I know I find some really
A
good
month
deals
long.
on cruises.
That would be a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
I did a 3-week
But-
cruise before. That was amazing.
We did a 4-day long cruise, and that was long. But dang, weeks
Well, it
long
depends on
would
your
be.
group. It depends
Yeah.
on your group. If you're not in a good group, then no. But if you're with your friends, like, can you imagine our group if we had been together? Because there was a nightclub, there was bowling alley, there was ice rinks, there was movies, there was casinos, there was bars, there was food, and all kinds of stuff, plus the excursions. And all the places
Yeah.
were places that we would actually want to go. You know,
Yeah.
beautiful white sand beaches. Like, that 3 weeks.
Can we
would have been
plan?
a
Can we
blast
plan
with
this,
you.
please? Can we plan this?
Yeah, we can. I'm always down for a cruise. After I did this, and the reason why I love the cruise is because it's cheaper to do the cruise and visit all these places than it is to book a hotel and take flights to these
Right.
places.
But that's what I was thinking too, is that yes and no, because you're only there for a short amount of time. Like when you get off of the boat, you're only there for like, say a day or, 8 or 12 hours or whatever it is. And what if you want to go to a place that isn't necessarily like right there, or if you want to go exploring, or, what if it takes you a couple of hours to get to the place
But
that you want to
generally,
see?
you have 8 hours. I mean, you have to be going hundreds of miles away from where you are. But generally, they stop in the key ports. I mean, like when we went to Athens, you were right there in Athens. I mean, how far away do you want to go?
But at
You
the
can
same
see
time, is one day really enough? Like, say, for example, what if, Mexico City was next to the ocean and a boat could, or it had a canal or something, right? What if a boat actually went up, dropped you off in Mexico City? You had 8 hours. Would that be enough time for you?
It could
Like,
be
don't
if
you-
you just wanted to sightsee. But I'm that person, like when we did this, I was like, I planned out every place, like the key restaurant that I wanted to eat in every port. And I went, and the things that I wanted to buy. So I knew exactly what I was going to do. I planned it out. And so that's how I planned it, and we did it. But yeah, but there were places that I was like, I want to come back here because it was so amazingly beautiful. And then there were other places where I was like, I'm so happy we're not staying here. I'm happy we're leaving because everyone is not friendly. It's dirty. It's, it's this, and that. But so it actually helped because it made it so that when I ever want to go back, I know exactly where I want to go.
That's true. Oh, excuse me. But at the same time, like there's places that it'd be kind of cool, like just to go there, and yeah, you can spend some time there. But if I'm gonna really like travel, and if I really want to go to a place, like maybe not going on a cruise, or unless that cruise ship is staying there for 2 days, that might be a little more beneficial. But then also, if you think about it too, like you had said, it goes to a place with like white sand beaches. Well, you can't explore and go spend hours at the beach and grab drinks and this and that all in 8 hours. So what if you go to a place like
you can? I did it. Yeah, you can. You can do everything that we would normally want to do. Hanging out. I did that all. Like I could do it all, literally, and it was perfect because I did a lot of shopping, and the reason why I loved it too is because I did so much shopping. I didn't need to worry about luggage or things like this. I just left it in my room, and then we were in the next port. I was buying a whole bunch of new stuff again.
And then stuff it all in your bag when it's time to go home.
No, I had a trolley. I had 2 of them.
You had an extra luggage.
Oh, I always book the extra luggage. I've learned that now. I always travel with an empty suitcase.
An empty suitcase? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I buy a big one. I put my suitcase with all my clothes and stuff in another suitcase, put it inside the big one. Then I use that as my checked bag. And then when I'm in another country, because I've traveled so much, I've learned that it really works for me, because inevitably I find something that I'll never be able to find at home. I'll never see again. There's still one time like a Zimbabwean thumb piano, and I still to this day regret that I didn't buy it. Never saw it again. Piano. Well, it's a thumb piano. Those beautiful ding 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 ding. It's on a wood thing. Beautiful sound. And anytime I've been anywhere on the continent of Africa and I've heard this, I will give you money. I will throw money into your little collection plate, because I think it's one of the most beautiful sounds. So,
those tiny little pianos.
Thumb pianos. It just sounds so beautiful to me. It's like this. And
how much was it?
Certain.
US dollars, please.
I don't know if he was saying, Fernando, they don't use dollars in other countries.
I know, that's why I need you to convert it for me.
I don't know if it was $30 or $300. I can't remember.
Well, if it was $300, then I'm sorry. I hope you didn't get that. But for $30, that would have been kind of cool. But
it was truly beautiful. It was
how big?
It was
like
it
a
was
thumb
big.
piano,
It was like
but
this big. No.
Oh, then how would you
called a
carry
thumb
that?
piano because you play your thumbs. You use your thumbs to do the keys.
Oh, okay. But how would you have carried it around with you and like got it back? That would have been a hassle.
Fernando, I bring an extra bag with me, and
you
I
think
was living there. Go ahead.
What?
Did you freeze or what happened? Wait, no. Did you freeze? You just stood there. You're like the mannequin challenge.
So this is a very. I saw this meme or a little video or whatever. So this girl had said, when you forget to do your homework and you're in online class, and she was like this. She was like, "So I did my project on the stop." And it was like, just pretend like your reception's bad or something, and
so
then
you lose
ended, but it was on Instagram. Yeah,
that's actually really good, because your mouth was open like before you said that.
Go to talk some. So you know what I will say too. Talking about traveling. So when I was in Colombia, they had this little pastry, and I can't remember what it was called. But it was kind of like some sort of like a little puff pastry, and had little granules of sugar on top. And inside it was filled with this Colombian caramel, and it's called arequipe. And it's like a dulce de leche, like a sweet caramel. And it is amazing. Like I ate so much of it when I was there. And I remember it being when I was a kid, because whenever my dad would go, he'd always bring it back for me. And when we had gone, I'd eaten it there. And this puff pastry, I remember I'd gotten it. We were at this tennis club. My dad loves tennis. And so we were there. He was playing tennis. And I found this pastry there. And I was probably like 6 or 7 years old at the time. And when I went there last October, that was my mission. I wanted to find this pastry again. And I ended up finding one that wasn't as good. No, it's not the same. They don't. Well, actually, one, they don't have anything. I've never ever seen anything compared to this before. And two, the caramel is different. Well, I mean,
there's a lot of places in LA though,
right? But a lot of places don't have this particular pastry. Like restaurants they're typically just have food. Like I have never seen a Colombian bakery, which I mean, maybe I'll look up. I've never come across one. I've seen Colombian restaurants, but
yeah.
So this pastry, I had found one there, and it was just okay. I was like, whatever. But at the airport, when I came back to Bogota from Cartagena, they had them at the airport, and it was amazing. It was like,
where was that?
It was at the airport,
Bogota.
But
Can I tell you? A lot of times I find really great food in the airport.
Really?
I do. Yeah, you find really good food. There's actually a few really well-rated restaurants, Colombian restaurants in LA.
Oh, are you looking it up now?
Yeah, Sabor Colombiano.
And where is that?
Colombiano. 110,000. Let's see, in LA. It is. It looks like it's close to Glendale. Let me zoom in.
Yeah, because the last time I looked, I was going to take my dad to one for his birthday, and I
Union
thought it was like
Street.
in the Valley or Union Street.
Yeah,
Downtown?
Union Street in LA. You can go to that. Yeah,
What's the cross
there's a
street?
few of them in downtown actually. Hold on. Why doesn't it?
I know that there actually is one here in Long Beach, but you know me, I'm so particular. Like a lot of it is looks and presentation. If I look at something and I say, "Ooh," I'm probably not going to go there.
But you have to be careful though sometimes. Sometimes things can be badly presented and be so delicious. I've been disappointed more times than not by beautifully presented things that have no real taste, that don't taste authentic, that is just appealing to people's eyes who don't know the cuisine. And you eat it and you may know it and you're just like, this is trash. This isn't Colombian. This is, this is some fake old El Paso stuff. Fast office
stuff.
Why isn't it showing me? I try to zoom into it, but it's not giving me the cross streets. Oh, here we go. I had to hit directions. That's why I was just trying to zoom in and seeing if it would just tell me. Instead, it was oh yeah. Yes, Google. I want to drive there from France. Oh, so
how long does it say it's going to take you to drive? Directions not available.
I don't know. I put in from you it is 35 minutes.
Okay, that's not bad.
On the 110.
On the 110. You know what I was thinking just now?
Oh, here we go. It's Pico Boulevard.
Pico and Union.
Yeah.
Are you there?
It says follow West Pico Boulevard to South Union Avenue. Right there.
Right there.
I want to go.
Let's go. How does the menu look? Do they have dessert? What's on the dessert menu? That's the most important part. How are the prices?
Hold on, let me go back now. Well, with that many reviews, it tells you that it's not bad. That's the most important thing.
How many stars?
Full stars. 5 full. How many? Yeah, they have 4.4 stars.
5 out of 5? Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. With 1,600 just Google reviews, but they also are on Grubhub. They're on all the apps. Postmates. Okay, let's see their menu. The food does look good. Let's see. Where's the menu? They're not showing. Oh, okay, here we go. Their menu. Here we go. And you want the dessert menu?
Yes, please.
Oh, they serve breakfast. Oh, look, they have a pollo menu. Pollo a las brasas, arroz con pollo, pollo en salsa, pollo palomero. I know you would order this. Deep fried breaded chicken breast with cilantro served with rice, french fries, and salad.
You know what? If I go to a Colombian restaurant, I'm going to get some grilled chicken, probably like a grilled chicken breast with some rice and beans and some arepas.
And yuca. They have that. It's the one above it. They have it. They have that here. They have a lot of good things. Okay, let's see. Desserts, posters. They have flan de la casa, helado, pastel gloria, tortas negra, flan, barrivas con arepiqui, figs with caramel, brevas.
Oh, that's probably the arequipe. That's the caramel.
Yeah, arepiquipe. Yeah, figs with caramel. Also, it's figs. It's not a puff pastry.
No, they have like hundreds of different like combinations. They're probably going to give you some little figs topped with caramel.
Ooh, that sounds good. I like a good flan.
I don't like,
but maybe pastel gloria is probably the thing that you like because it's only $1.75.
No, that's
The
probably
most
just like,
expensive dessert.
what is it called?
The most Sabor Colombiano.
No,
Like
the little
Savor
like pastel.
Colombiano.
De Gloria?
Oh,
What's the De Gloria?
yeah, Pastel Gloria. That's all Pastel Gloria, but it doesn't say what it is. Ooh, they have maracuja. I love it.
Yeah, this is just a little puff pastry by itself. Imagine like a tiny croissant. But I mean,
Yeah, that's
maybe
probably what it is.
maybe that filled, but it's not going to be filled with anything. So we want it filled. We want it filled with caramel.
Yeah, this place is good.
Yeah,
Cameroon.
I'm getting hungry. I think it's getting.
I know, I am too.
Kind of like lunchtime now.
I know. I need to eat. I know. Now it's second snack for you.
Snack? No, now it's lunchtime, and then I'm gonna have a post-lunch snack.
Well, they have arepas. Arepas renilla. Arepas con queso. Oh, that sounds delicious.
It sure does.
Ooh, arepas con chocolate. Patacon con todo. That's when I would. Well, yeah, maybe. Okay,
Do you know what that is?
This. Now I'm getting hungry. Yeah, I do.
Do you know what that is? What a patacon is?
Yeah. Patactodo?
All right,
What
Freddy.
did you say?
What? Oh, I asked if you knew what that was.
Yeah. Well, I could read the description. I haven't had that one, but I can already tell you that I would probably like this place. The menu looks good. It looks, there was no burger. You never want to go to a place that has a burger because it means that there are too many tourists going there. You know what I mean? But you're going to a Colombian restaurant. They shouldn't be serving a burger unless it's on the kids' menu.
Ask for it. They probably have it available if you ask for it.
Well,
should we call them and ask them if they have a burger? Imagine. Excuse me. Hello.
On the next show.
All right.
On the next show, we're going to do a food episode. How's that sound?
Okay. Are we both going to be eating during the episode?
Oh, I was thinking we would just talk about places that are really good to go, that we really enjoy in the LA area, which could be cool because there are a lot of good places that I've always wanted to go with you, but you don't eat that kind of food. So
yeah, I don't eat seafood, unfortunately. So
no, I was just thinking of that one time I wanted to take you to is it Redondo Beach? Yes, Redondo Beach is the Raging Cajun, and you can get fried crawfish and hush puppies. Yeah,
no, thank you. No, thank you. On the next episode of the Fernando and Freddy Show,
Fernando eats nothing. I'm gonna need you to do some. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So we'll speak to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. I see there's people watching, which is kind of cool. Our numbers are going up. We went from 0, 1. We've had 4 and 5 the whole time we've been on the show, and it's not us.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you for joining in with us today. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. We will see you on Monday.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us what you think of Fernando. Thank you. Talk to you guys soon.
Right,
bye.
buddy. Bye.
Bye.
3, 2, 1.